brother, oh brother, oh brother. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Core Show, where today's not a normal episode. We're doing a Payday Friday. We're giving away some dinero, so don't forget to sign up. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. You could already throw your name in the hat for Locals representation. We're picking 3 people from Locals, 1 from YouTube, 1 from Rumble. If you've been here before, you know how we do it, so don't forget to sign up on Locals. Obviously, you can get into Locals as a premium member right now for free if you use that code Goonie. So basically, to be in this giveaway, it costs you nothing. It is a free entry giveaway, if you will. All right, let me make sure I'm actually streaming properly, because yesterday I completely messed everything up. I believe I am doing everything I should today. It looks like you can hear me. It looks like you can see me. I do appreciate you guys joining me so early today because we're about to get the unemployment report. And this one is going to be an interesting one because it does, most anticipation is that we're actually going to the south side. Like most people are expecting this to be a no bueno report. So that's going to be coming out in about 7 minutes. So let me switch over so you guys can just see how things are in pre-market right now. All overnight sessions, SPY up, Qs up, Russell up. Right now, we kind of just ran up into the high from yesterday during the trading session. Now we're taking a little bit of a breather, and basically everyone and their brothers just waiting to see how this plays out with the unemployment report. Stock futures rise slightly as Wall Street awaits September jobs report. Like I said, this one should be an interesting one. U.S. jobs report is expected to show stable growth in September. Economists see 150,000 as the line in the sand and a unemployment rate of 4.2%. Now, if we kind of break it down, FactSet is looking for 140,000. Kalshi is looking for 148. Goldman Sachs is looking for 165, and UBS is looking for 180. 16 out of the last 19 job reports have been revised downward, as in it feels like they're legitimately just not telling us the truth. Not even since 2008 saw as many downward job revisions as we are seeing right now. Markets currently expecting the U.S. market is at 148. Now, that's not the best number. I mean, it's a little bit better than last time around. But the concerning thing is we're getting these bad numbers, and then the very next month they're getting revised to be even worse. All eyes will also be on the unemployment rate, which is expected to remain unchanged at 4.2%. So as of now, those are currently the lines in the sand, and it's a very important thing to pay attention to. It will be hard to avoid a recession when the one-year average of non-farm payroll drops below 100,000. It has been a leading indicator for the dot-com and subprime recessions, despite the quote-unquote distortion caused by Rona. I believe this indicator remains interesting to watch. This is a good account, in my opinion, to follow, obviously, on X, but just to see what's been going on with this. And you could see we're just not trending the way you want. Obviously, with the Rona period, things got a little bit crazy, but our trajectory is not a good one. So those are the particular lines in the sand to be paying attention to be listening for, as hopefully our boy Rick Santilli is about to be reporting this morning. So that is all coming out. Obviously, we're going to be listening for that, watching the market as it reacts. Then we're going to, obviously, they always bring on some hosts. We're going to listen to see if they have anything good to say. Then from there, I have a quick political update. I want to let you know what's going on with the port strikes. Then I want to talk about some individual equities, the overall market. I want to break down some of the world's newest, richest people. And then from there, the market should be opening. We're going to watch the market open. Hopefully, Skynet doesn't mess up today. We're going to be crushing trades there. Fingers crossed. Then we're going to be doing a Payday Friday giveaway. We're giving away $150. It is free to enter. We're going to pick a person from YouTube, a person from Rumble, 3 people from Locals. So if you want to enter right now to be one of the potential people from Locals, do so. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. I'll be explaining all of that stuff a little bit later as we get closer to it. But yes, you could enter right now. The Rumble participant and the YouTube participant will be picked in real time. But if you want to enter to be one of the potential Locals people, you could do that now. And you could throw your hat in the ring for all of those. You could be you could try to be the person on Locals, YouTube, and Rumble if you want. Good luck. I guess it just increases your chances. But anyway, we also have some political insider trading to speak about. So as you can tell, lots of stuff to get into today. At some point, because we are going to have extra time, we're also going to be chit-chatting about kind of where we see just like more of the nuanced gamma structure and whatnot. So I want to get into some of the nitty gritty math just because I always find it particularly interesting. And I'm of the opinion that that's actually how you can make some good money. Like I said, we're going to talk about some insider trading stuff. We have some other breaking news related to interactive brokers and political bets. Today's going to be a fully packed show. So we have a lot to talk about. And my question for all of you, as we're waiting just for them to come back on the air, are they back on the air? This report is coming out in 3 minutes. So I'm going to be looking over here. I'm paying attention to chat. Folks, right now, if you had to pick who, bulls or bears, how is this report going to go? I want to see where the audience is at with this particular one. Are you guys feeling particularly bullish? Are you guys feeling particularly bearish? How is the chat feeling with this? Because I actually might, based off what you guys are saying, take a little bit of a futures bet. So I'm going to need you to do it, obviously, relatively quickly. That would be a huge benefit. I would appreciate 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4, 9. I'm just trying to get these accounts set up so I can actually take the bet. Take the bet that I should be taking. Let me make sure. What are we at? 4, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just make sure I did all this properly. 4, 5. All right, perfect. So what do we have? 1254, 1254, NQ DGen, great. And then we have 1249, 1249. All right, I'm just getting the trade set up, and now I need you guys to tell me if I should be bullish or bearish. So bull, bear, bullish, very bullish. Actually, Pavel went from bullish to very bullish. So you guys are actually feeling quite optimistic about this whole thing. All right. I could buy that. I could buy what you guys are picking up. I could pick up what you guys are laying down on this particular one. Green as the fields in Iceland. I can't wait to watch. All right. Well, we're going to find out. And we're about 75 seconds out right now. I'll slap on some bold positions, and maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe I'll get some of these eval accounts passed, just so I can start trading them as PA accounts when I inevitably blow some up in the future. So I'm just going to get ready for that very, very quickly. You know what I'll do? Actually, what is the best way for me to fire these trades off? The best way for me to fire these trades off is probably to bring this to this screen. We're going to buy on one. We're going to sell. Okay, I'm ready. I think I'm ready. We're going to find out if I'm ready. All right, here's a quick look. All right, we'll get up we are a couple seconds out. Here's the 15-second chart. The SPY is trading at pretty much 570. And if I could do this right, I'm going to fire my trades off in about, All right, here we go. We have the lines in the sand. We're waiting for Rick to come.
Order filled. Order canceled. Order canceled.
But this particular jobs number, and I'd like to see if Steve agrees.
Quick pop to the
really
upside.
going to have an outsized potential
Quick pop
effect
to
on
the
the
upside.
marketplace and investor psyches, because we've seen the Fed now.
Come on,
flip
Rick,
their
give it
lens
to us,
the
brother.
Labor market. Here, 2 seconds away, and as we come, hitting the wires.
We're
on
up
the
about
September
$2.
jobs report, the over wins 254,000.
Holy crap.
Significantly
Way
better
more.
than 150 expected, and an
Way
upward
more.
revision to last month from 142,000
Wow.
to 159,000, which means the 2-month
Wow.
revision now is a little over
Big pop in the
70,000. If we look
SPY,
at the
Qs,
unemployment
Russell.
rate, it is at 4.1.
Wow.
4.1.
And
It
unemployment
moved
rates
lower.
below.
I can hear yields moving higher as we speak. And 4.1,
Wow.
of course, equals where we were in June.
Our
You have to
boy
go to
Rick
May,
giving
get
us
a
that
lower
barn
number
burner.
at 4%. Average hourly earnings month over month, better than expected, up 0.4%.
And earnings are up.
which equals
Unemployment
where we
down.
have been
More
in
jobs
May. You
added.
have to go
And
back
earnings
to
are up.
the
That is
beginning of
bullish.
the year, January, when we were up
What about the
half of
revisions?
1%.
I want to know
Now,
about
if you
the
look at average hourly earnings on a year-over-year basis. This number also much better than expected. 4%. 4%.
Holy
that equals
crap.
where we were in May. You have to go to March to find a higher number at 4.1. The work week, 34.2, which makes it actually a tenth less than expected and a tenth less than the rear view mirror. To find a lower work week, you have to go back
a little bullish
long
jolt.
way. You're going to have to go all the way back to 34.3, which is going to be in February of this year. And finally, the utilization, the labor force participation rate, 62.7. It's been holding there. Not a bad number.
Holy
62.7 is actually the best number of the year that we've seen on multiple occasions. You have to go to November last year to find a higher number at 62.8. And finally, the underemployment rate. The actual employment rate of 4.1 is called U3. U6 is the underemployment rate, and that has been moving higher. It was at 7.9 our last look, which was the highest since October of 21, and it came down 0.2 to 7.7, which would equate it to the lowest level since June of this year. So yields have shot up.
That's pretty bullish.
We're now 394, 395 in a 10-year. We see 385 in a 2-year. These are big, smart reversals. Today now marks
the question is it going to hold?
That Treasury yields
obviously a good economic report, but that doesn't always perfectly translate to the stock market. So
which means
thus far pretty good.
To higher yields,
well,
and that's important considering we settled the 10-year last week. Get this at 375. So we've seen some significant moves. And on the short end, we settled a 2-year last week at 356. So it's up 30 basis points from last week. And of course, the Fed last move was a 50 basis point ease. The market seems to be going the other way. Joe, back to you and the panel.
It really does. Thanks, Rick. Let's get to our jobs panel. I want to start with Steve Leisman, and so much
way
for the
more
Fed,
jobs than anyone anticipated.
In advance,
off by 100,000.
Also, Steve, is the whole asymmetric risk now in the labor market versus inflation?
Yes, that's where we're at.
But does that make sense? I mean, now,
holy crap!
I don't think so. Let me explain why. First of all, do you hear me muttering when I say?
Oh, I hear you muttering a lot.
I say, Rick, tell me about labor supply. Boom, he gives me the labor capacity. Rick, tell me about. He's so good. Anyway, I just wanted to spend a moment to compliment him. So here's the deal. The jobs gains were where we see. This looks a lot like a pandemic-era report. 78,000 in leisure and hospitality, 71,000 healthcare and social
quick
assistance.
Pop, quick giving it back. But the pop was sizable, 570 up to 572, and then quickly faded by $1 and change. And now, is it going to reverse it? Look at this. Big spike smack. Big spike smack. Big spike smack. Bitcoin spiked, and it's actually now going red. How are bonds?
So that's part of it.
Bonds are dumping.
There's the story for the Fed here is
spiking.
If you have the labor supply to meet the labor demand, that is not inflationary. Now, you did have a pop in wages. We'll see how long
this will be adjusted downwards after the election. Yeah, probably. It's probably BS.
Inflation. And to use a word that I think the Fed chair has used, recalibrating the funds rate to where the inflation rate is. And that's why rates should still continue to come down, but as Rick pointed out, not in 50 basis point increments.
Can I just ask, we're looking at this without even knowing any of the impact from Hurricane Helene. We just had someone on set with us talking about this destruction.
That's a good point.
The broadest, widest they've seen. Someone who's actually doing the reconstruction there, the demand that this is going to require over 600 miles plus of area in the United States.
I think it's bigger than. I think we're talking about the Panhandle when he's 600 miles in Florida, right? I think
he was talking
the swath in the middle of the country is even bigger and worse.
Straight line 600.
Oh, right. Okay.
Before you get out and how wide and how broad it is. But when you say it's okay if labor supply meets labor demand, how can that be possible with the destruction that we're talking about?
I don't think. Look, I think it's going to cost a lot of money. I'll back up. There's a decline in economic output as a result. That could be an offset to the increase that's generally, I'll say one quick word about this. I know we went to the panel. I've spent 22 years at CNBC telling our bosses that even though the video is great, these big natural disasters don't amount to much when it comes to the macroeconomy. That's usually been
The
right.
Qs are
and
holding
it's
the
usually
best.
right because these big storms, they
Bonds
hit
just
cities,
got
and cities
destroyed.
have the
Yields are
infrastructure to fix them.
ripping.
I don't know
Oil's
the
chilling
economic
at
impact
74.
of what just happened with
Wow.
Helene in these outlying areas over such a vast swath that could both depopulate certain areas and require massive amounts of infrastructure. So I'm going to take a pass on your question, Becky, and tell you you're right to question it, but I do not know the total net on Helene because there's a decline in output and there's an increase in the need to spend a lot of money to fix it. So I'll leave it there.
All right, let's get to our panel. We'll start with, I see your name up here on my teleprompter, Wendy, so let's go for it. What do you make of this? Pretty good report.
It is a good report, and I think Steve's exactly right that we need to understand these numbers in the context of what we know about labor supply. The 3-month average of payroll job gains has been about 185,000 by my calculation.
She's just like in her mom's
that is
attic.
Darn close
What is
to
this?
what I estimate is the break-even rate right now, given what I think I know about the growth in labor
Revisions for
supplies
July and
the
August
surge in
were up
immigration.
55 and
So
17,000
our economy
respectively.
is doing a fantastic job
Bullshit.
of absorbing these immigrants.
They're
and
lying
this
to
labor
our
market's
face
doing
about
well
this.
for
There
both
is
US
no
born workers
way.
and for foreign-born workers.
They're now
This is great
revising
news.
July and August up 55 and
Joel,
17.
Can I add just
Well,
one
they
thing
are.
really
I
quickly?
just don't
Because of
believe it.
Becky's thing, which is we also don't know about productivity.
As we're coming into
the
an
wage
election.
number may be in line
No.
with productivity plus inflation. I'll leave it there.
Okay. What do you think, Joel?
Well, what I was most interested in were the full-time jobs numbers, and
Especially,
it appears
this is
that,
the
we've
last
seen a
jobs
bit of a
report we're
diversion
getting
from recent
before
months.
the election.
Part-time
So
jobs
yeah,
actually
dude, they are
shrank,
pumping
which
this one
added
up
to the
like
number of
no
full-time
other
jobs.
for the election.
And my concern arises from the
Lies.
fact that over the past year or so,
Lies.
we've actually seen a decline in full-time jobs of around 900,000. So this was
Someone's
encouraging.
pants are on
But
fire.
what most I'm concerned about long-term is that when we talk about the different economic proposals put forth by the two candidates, I'm really concerned about how those policies are going to go to really play forward in 2025.
Sarah, I made the point that the Fed has focused all of us on possible weakness in the labor market and sort of the notion that not inflation has been
The guy
has been put to
waving
bed,
back
but
there.
that the risk lies in a slowing labor market. With with everything we're seeing, I don't know what happens in the Mideast or oil prices, and we had the port strike, which gratefully looks like it's been settled. But are we back to at least 50-50 on the dual mandate? I mean, isn't inflation at least as important as worrying about weakness in the labor market?
Well, the Fed has been clear that they've shifted to a focus on the labor market and concerns about it cracking. And obviously, this number is not showing that today. It also tells us that the August rebound in payrolls was not a blip. Healthcare and government has been what has been weak recently within the payrolls numbers. I didn't hear those numbers just now, but I assume that those have rebounded a little bit going forward. So what does this mean for the Fed in November? I think we are moving back to perhaps a 25 basis point rate cut instead of 50 for November. But the market, if you look at it, even though it likely will be strong today, it's been pretty defensive recently under the current. And that's because people are worried about this geopolitical issues. Oil prices are increasing. Also, the election is coming up. But as you said, Joe, oil prices going up.
shot of a
Average hourly
25
earnings
bips
at
rate cut
0.4%
right now.
higher.
We're at
This is all inflationary. So I
4.75,
think the Fed needs to move back to a
67%
little bit
chance to
more
go
of
to
a balance. It's not
4.5
just about
on the
labor
November
market.
7th
It's also
meeting.
about watching inflation going forward. I think both of those are going to determine the cuts going forward, and that's likely going to be 25 for November.
Rick, maybe move back to that or just stop
chance.
telling us anything.
Give us our boy,
about,
Rick.
What they
This
think.
guy's so
what would be
stoked.
better, Rick?
Oh, is he going to pull his shirt up?
I used to
What's he
like
doing?
it back in the old days, Joe, where, people, investors, traders, they had to actually figure out what was going on just by watching the behavior of Fed funds, the effective Fed funds rate, how it traded, especially after meetings and numbers. But to specifically answer your question, I understand that we've made huge progress from 9.1% on inflation. I get it. But really, the issue isn't about inflation in the last mile. The issue is there going to be any type of resurgence in inflation that's going to make the target more towards from where it is, not from the Fed standpoint, 3%. And I think, whether you look at the strike that was averted, 61.5%. Listen, there's not the type of wage inflation spiral, wage cost spiral that I saw, 35, 40 years ago. But there definitely does seem to be under the surface that dynamic. I think the Fed's going to have an inflation problem. Not that it's going to be huge, but that it's going to bounce around and it's going to have some life. And I think they need to focus on that.
Yeah,
in terms of the
Nasdaq
labor
is
market,
popping.
listen,
Loving
I've been
this.
wrong. Some of the spread, some of the signals in the market that called for
Yeah,
more
everything's going
recessionary
again.
times. But
SPY
this
up,
report
Russell
is
up.
strong, and I don't see
It is
any
a
way
strong
around
report.
that.
Is it real?
The
It
economy's
doesn't
a
matter because
disaster,
it's going
right,
to impact
Joe?
it. As a
No,
trader,
I'm
it doesn't
not-
matter if you think
I'm
it's
just
real or
quoting
not
somebody,
because we're
that's all.
actively trading on
No, but
the market's
here's my
perception
question, though,
of
Steve.
it.
If we're not restrictive,
Dude, this guy's really
based
going
on,
for it.
Like, if you are looking at inflation that what Rick was just talking about, then why would you cut again?
You can be in the wrong place, Joe. That's the
restrictive?
working
But is it
theory.
restrictive?
It doesn't mean you're restricted. If you are hiring the number of people who are available to hire, and you are meeting the demand of hiring is not a welfare
Could it be
program.
there's no more cuts? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think so. I think the Fed wants to bring it down towards a level that is neutral. And
But
the
we
feeling
might be
is
neutral
that,
now. If inflation,
why do you say that?
Because inflation might resurge.
But why do you say that?
Because it just, I mean, you heard all the details Rick just talked about, whether
Well,
it's,
if you did 250,
Lying
and you
asses,
had
but
workers
great for my
250,
calls. Hope
and
you're
you had
feeling better,
demand
bro.
for
I
250,
appreciate that,
output for
PJ.
250.
And congrats on your
inflationary
calls.
forces that we're seeing.
Your
What
volume's
inflationary
low.
forces?
Your
Labor,
ears
you
are
know,
low,
I mean,
Brian.
I know so
Just
what if
because
it
you
had-
hire people is not inflationary.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the port strike.
Actually, I'll check.
Middle
Strike's
Eastern-
done. Port
what if
strike's
No,
there's
the
an oil
volume's
shock?
maxed.
What if there's, there just seems to be, workers seem to be in the driver's seat right now. They got a 60%
That's
wage
okay
increase.
if you have the productivity to meet their increase in wages.
I don't. Now you're getting in the weeds with the.
Why is that in
You
the
know,
weeds?
if
It's
nothing
exactly
else,
where you
gentlemen,
should be.
just look at the
If you
rules.
increase your
Just look at the
productivity,
rules
Joe,
in California.
Chaos.
Look
Look
at the
at what?
rules in California. Look what they're doing to trucking. I'm sorry, but bottom of the food chain
He's
issues,
not
whether
sorry.
it's wages, transporting, all the things we use, the price of poker is going to be going up. I don't see any way around it.
That doesn't mean
Now,
you
I know
have an
that EVs are
inflationary
now
spiral,
out of
Rick.
style.
If you have an
come on.
increase
Don't
in the
give me
price
economics.
level-
I'm talking common sense.
Oh, you
here.
mean
All
actual
you need to do is
economics.
Look
Oh.
west. Look west. Or
It's
look
not an
the other- no,
inflationary
economists
spiral.
never have any common sense,
Look,
in my
Rick, I
opinion.
know you
Look
reject
east,
science,
look
but-
west.
But
No. Are you
reject
kidding?
science?
I've had arguments with Andrew about science, haven't I? I like science. All
Okay.
I'm saying here is that you can throw all the economics around you want. There's going to be inflationary forces in the grid, inflationary forces in things like diesel, in trucking, okay? And these things are bottom of the food chain.
I don't
and
think
when
anyone
I see
invokes science anymore, Steve.
61.5%,
Right, I know. Science is a bad thing.
I don't think I'd be talking science.
But here's the thing, Rick. If you have an increase in the price level, that does not mean you have inflation. It means you had an increase in the price level.
No.
When you have the number
All right,
of workers...
let's go with that. Let's go with that. That's fine with me. Forget inflation. Toss it out. Okay, America, here's what we're saying. The prices are going to be going up. Put any name on it you want.
Rick, if you
I'm
want to
good
have
with
a
that.
semantic argument, you can have a semantic argument, but a rise in the price
You're
level
the one
is not
with
inflation.
semantics.
Dude, he's getting a point in.
Prices are going to be going up.
You're in good
That's
shape
all I'm
because
saying.
the last thing economics is an actual science. Wendy, it's dismal if it is, but you know you got Nobel laureates that win.
Who are these
in-
other
in
people?
polar
Dude, Joe's
opposite
hands in his
theories.
It's
Joe,
Both
such
first of
a
all, your hand
debacle
is in my
today.
shot when you do that, okay? I'm insulted by that. That's the
Okay,
first
I'm
thing.
sorry, Wendy.
Here, buddy.
Can't
quite reach.
Wendy,
What a
weigh in.
fucking motley
So
crew
the
we
Fed
have
does
going
not
on this
need
morning.
to set monetary policy
I'll
in
take what
advance
Rick is
of,
drinking.
You know, the ghost of possible inflation on the horizon. The Fed
doing it
wants
on
to
the
think
ghost
about
of
what
weak
its
labor.
expectations are right now. And
is
right
so
now,
wild.
inflation is
What a
darn near
show.
target, and the labor market looks relatively balanced, remarkably balanced. And so it's not appropriate for monetary policy to be restrictive right now. If inflationary pressures come up going forward, let's say because we have massive deportation that reduces labor supply, let's say because we have a 10% across the board tariff, the Fed has a lot of dry powder
Oh, don't get
to fight
political.
inflation.
Political? It's not political. That's fact, Rick.
Hey,
If
Joel,
you have...
Joel, do you think? I mean,
No, sorry,
the
it's
Fed
not
made a
fact.
move. The Fed made a move based on labor market weakness. Where's that?
Yeah, where is it?
Look, number one, I really do think it's important to be looking at the number of full-time
Forgot this
jobs,
guy
which
was
we do
on.
know have
Dude,
diminished
this is such a
substantially over
fucking
the
shit
past
show
year.
today. I
When
love
we're
it.
talking about inflation itself. let's not forget that those of us who are invested in the market, yes, we are doing quite well over the past few years. The market's gone up, but a lot of people don't have those investments. For the typical family, whether you want to call it the ghost of inflation or not, we know that real wages are down roughly 2% over the past few years. That is a significant impact on a middle-class family making $150K a year. That's a few $1,000s a year pay cut. And I think it's important, too, to realize that middle-class families have been taking on credit card debt to maintain their financing. And if you look at the increase in interest rates on revolving debt combined with the increase in balances, the typical family is spending another $1,500 a year just paying their credit card costs. So, no, this inflation battle has not been won.
We need pro-growth policies, Joel. You're spot on.
But all the things that Joel said are deflationary.
Doesn't think
I feel the need to jump in.
Good.
I gotta say, so real wages are up, not down. Real wages are up since before the pandemic by any measure. And more importantly, total compensation has been quite strong given the employment gains that we've seen among workers across the economy.
Can somebody answer me if that's true?
Joel, that's not true, is it?
Is it?
No, and in fact, when we're looking at these real wage numbers, this does not even take into account, of course, the rising home costs. And look, I ran those numbers the other day. If you want to get into a middle-class home, your all-in cost for property taxes, insurance, mortgage is an additional $23,000 per year. That's why real families, if you talk to middle-class families, they feel under the gun right now because their real wages, if you're already working with just a few $1,000s a year cushion, when you take $5,000 out of that cushion, a lot of these families are underwater.
Joel,
look,
what is
right.
The argument on the table is whether or not inflation is going to go up. All the things you're saying, Joel, are sort of deflationary type things that people are struggling. They don't have the money. In that context, you do have a funds rate that is overly restricted.
That was Joel being from Heritage to counter Wendy being from where she's from, because everybody that's talking is being political.
No, I agree.
But ultimately, Joel, I just want the actual number. Are real wages up?
Hold on, I'll give you real earnings.
Not earnings, average weekly.
Average weekly you want?
Real earnings. Average weekly, real earnings.
Compared to what day? February 2020? 37. Yes, they are. Real earnings are up. The index of real earnings is up from 377 point. Sorry, from February 377.74 to 384.69.
No, from January.
From February 2020. To today, real earnings are actually higher.
Okay.
Real earnings are higher. Average weekly earnings?
Real average weekly earnings are higher.
I haven't seen that. Joel, is that?
AI says that too. I'm looking it up.
If we go from the start of 2021 to now, real wages are down by around 2.1%.
Right.
And look, I agree.
Yes, that's correct also. So it depends on when you start.
Wait.
So
pre-pandemic it is.
Pre-pandemic is February 2020.
Okay, we're not pre-pandemic. We always talk about when Biden came in.
Well, except for she did say pre-pandemic.
Okay,
she said pre-pandemic.
I know, from pre-pandemic. That goes all the way.
And Joel is also right if you want to take it from the point of when inflation was the highest.
Okay, that's all I want. I just want real numbers to see what's right on this. It depends on the time frame, but they're both right.
What we're talking about, yes. Since we're doing it in a political context, right? But the whole the administration came in, people have lost buying power.
I like what you're saying, Joe, in the sense of what is the thing that matters to people?
Right.
And I think the thing that matters to people is the sense. By the way, let me just finish, Rick. Is the sense that people have that their wages have not kept up with inflation. And I don't think you can do anything to change that sensibility that people have. Either their wages have or they haven't kept up with inflation. And when you look at an average like this, I think it tells you, Joel, tell me if I'm wrong here, that half did and half didn't, right? If you have a median like that. So for a lot of people, I think if you're a poor worker, you're feeling pretty good today.
In terms of,
and if you're not feeling as good.
But Steve, in terms of being so relaxed about it, okay, GDP above trend. I'm getting this from a famous GDP above trend, equity new highs, credit all-time high, gold all-time highs, corporate profits accelerating. You got no labor market weaknesses. Where is your reason for going down 50 basis points?
Because my funds rate is above my sense of where neutral is. Now, the one thing that is the key.
I don't want to base it on.
I think this is neutral.
But politically, all the things you just said would say that we're in a great economy.
I don't know if it's not gold at all
You just
times
read
high.
except for gold. Everything you just read, you would say, okay, this is a great economy.
Except for people's purchasing power is still down.
The one thing that bugs me about what you said, Joe, is that
they should do this
GDP
show
is
at
above
night with
potential,
drinks.
But it does
would
make
be
me
even
question about
better.
where GDP potential is. Maybe it is somewhat.
This girl over
What do you got,
here.
Sarah?
Hey, Joe, good to see you. This is why the Fed needs to still cut rates, even though inflation has picked up a little bit and the jobs market is strong. It's because the Fed can't rely on the jobs market for data in terms of a recession. Jobs markets tend to crack right when a recession starts. Data goes down the elevator faster than it comes up the escalator. So they still need to be prudent here, cut rates, because the undertone of the markets is that the consumer is slowing a little bit. Manufacturing data was weak. We saw that this week with PMIs. And we still need to worry, if you're an investor right now, your main concerns are the geopolitical issues and the impact on oil prices, and also what's going on in China, which is having a very strong rebound.
I don't even know if you need. I don't even know if you need, Rick, you don't even need to assume inflation is going back up to look at all the things we just said to not see any restrictive policy. There's no signs anything is restrictive right now. Is there?
No.
Steve gets
really
pissed
don't
every
see a
single
sign.
time Joe
So
gets
I
in
don't
his
know
shot
what
with
you
his
define
hand.
neutral as. Maybe this could be
Keeps
neutral.
shooting him dirty
See, that's
looks.
the other issue, this caveat, this word game we
This is
play.
fascinating.
Neutral. They don't know where neutral is.
True.
And they have no idea where inflation's going to be
Steve just said
a year
he
from now.
thinks you think it's neutral.
Would you stop?
He did.
I just want to say before we get the hook on this that I've enjoyed this conversation.
All right, we're done.
That we can sit around and have arguments and disagreements as civil human beings.
And by the way, and get to the real numbers on it.
And get some real numbers.
And really look
That's
at these
what we
things.
do.
I appreciate that.
And it's Friday.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
And
I'm really close to weekend.
Well, it's nice that we can do it as a luxury, talking about whether people can afford things or not. But there are people
No,
who
you're
are
right about that too, Joe.
Like,
Right about
whoa, with no more ground beef. We're having just.
We got somebody really smart
We're
coming
having
up.
just.
Who knows more about
Steve,
this
we're
stuff than
having
any
just.
of us.
This is
hamburger
something,
helper.
man.
No hamburger.
That was.
Here we go.
All right, joining us right now is former Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester. She is now an adjunct professor of finance at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, also a CNBC contributor.
She's a looker.
Loretta, thank you. You are the person we need to speak to most at this point. Please tell us, based on your read of these numbers, whether
What's
the
Loretta
Fed should
up
cut rates
to?
again.
Well, it was a great conversation, I have to say. I enjoyed it as well. Look, the Fed has a dual mandate, price stability and maximum employment. The Fed's started this phase of bringing policy rates down towards neutral. Yes, you're right. We don't know exactly where neutral is. But we do have signs that the economy is moderating. So the employment report today was a strong report, which is good for the Fed. The Fed has to balance both things. The concern over the past couple of months was maybe labor markets were cooling off.
Where
a
is
bit
the market
too
at?
much,
I got
not
now
just moderating, but
distracted
weakening.
from all
I think
this.
report,
Oh, we're still
plus the
going.
revisions from the 2 prior months really show that no, the economy is doing quite well on the employment front. And inflation is coming down. And so in that environment, the Fed has to be forward looking, and you don't want to keep rates at the current level given where inflation has come down from and where it's going in terms of the forecast. Yeah, there are risks on the upside to inflation, and you pointed out some of them, including oil prices given the conflict in the Middle East, which may be escalating, and that's something to keep an eye on. But you have to sort of make your best policy looking at where you think things are going, and maybe you'll have to course correct in the future if things turn out differently than where you're projecting. But right now, it makes sense for the Fed to keep looking at the data it gets up until that next meeting, and then move rates down as it said it was going to do at the last meeting. It's starting a new phase to bring them towards neutral. We don't know exactly where neutral is. We don't know when the stopping point will be. But with the moderation going on in the economy that we've seen so far, which is expected to continue, and where inflation is expected to go down, it makes sense to be bringing rates down at a moderate pace. I think this report would not necessarily support doing another 50, but it is consistent with moving rates down another 25, and then maybe they'll pause for a meeting or two.
Yeah, that would be my guess, Loretta. If you're looking at inflation, not necessarily completely where you want it, but coming down significantly when you're looking at
We're
the jobs market being stronger than
moving.
you even anticipated last month, because we not only had stronger than expected numbers for the most recent read, they raised they
Higher
they
highs,
revised
higher
the numbers
lows.
upward for the month before. Wouldn't the prudent thing to be look around and wait and see, especially when you just came off 50 basis points when that was the most anybody had been anticipating?
I mean, you could do that, and again, they're going to have that meeting, the discussion around the table. I think it would be actually a signal of sort of stop and go policy, which I don't think would be very helpful. Look, they started in this phase. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that things are moderating. I mean, not every report that's come out has shown that everybody's hiring, right? If you look at sort of the ISM surveys and the businesses that they talked to in that survey, a lot of them said, hey, we're being, prudent about our labor force now. We can hire people. If you look at the quits rate, people aren't quitting their jobs as quickly as they were before because they feel that it's harder to get a job if they were to quit to move into a new job. So there's moderation going on in the labor market, which we want. We want sustainable labor markets. We don't want things to be overly
yields are
tight,
coming back down. We might
want
reinvert.
people to be losing their jobs because the Fed is too
Which
tight.
would actually be
that's
bullish
kind
in
of
the
where
short term
Fed
for
has to
stocks.
look at.
To clarify,
it's basically
oil's breaking out.
Risk.
Gold's
And,
coming back down.
In the past, you could say they had the luxury of only having to worry about inflation. That wasn't really a luxury, but you know what I mean? They had to focus on inflation.
Sure.
Now they
USD,
have to look at both
JPY,
parts,
dude.
And that's what makes this more difficult, right?
I don't know what
Decisions
this
are gonna
means
be
for the
difficult
long term.
going
It can't be
forward,
good, but in the short term,
they've
this
always
is
been
bullish,
keeping
man.
both parts of the mandate in view.
Wow.
It's kind of like if you have a panorama
Holy
shot,
shit.
right? You may focus on one part of the mountain.
October
but you still
starts
wanna have
now.
the
It
valley
feels
in the-
like
in
it.
the
We are
panoramic shot. They always
ripping,
have
man.
both parts of the mandate in mind.
We are
Loretta, thank you. Former
ripping.
Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester. It's great to have you here. Squawk Box will be right back.
Squawk Box will be right back. No, they won't, because we have other things to chit chat about this morning. So if you're just joining now, first of all, demerit, you're late to the show, but I'll forgive you because things are uppity, skippity, doodah, very green. SPY is currently up 0.86%. The Qs are up 1.3%. The Russell's up 1.6%. Bonds are diving. Yields are ripping. Gold's coming down. Bitcoin's up. We just got a really strong report. Unemployment was expected to be 4.2%, came in at 4.1%. The jobs added was expected to be 150,000. It was coming in at 254. So beat it by 100,000. And they revised both July and August upward. July, they revised it up by 55,000 jobs. In August, they revised it upward by 17,000 jobs. So, and then also average hourly earnings also higher than expected. So across the board, it's up. Now, as many of you in chat are pointing out, these numbers could be bullshit, and I agree, but we're not going to find that out until after this whole month happens, the elections happen, and then we get the numbers in November. So you might be right, but that doesn't change what's going on now. So remember, we are not trading on what you truly believe is right or wrong. You're trading on the market's perception of what's currently being fed into the ecosystem. Those are two distinct things. So just because you think these numbers might be bullshit, don't let that stop you from making money, okay? So, I agree with you. These numbers are probably not accurate, but that doesn't impact what we have before us today, because what we have before us today is a bullish opportunity. So you have to be able to disconnect yourself from saying, no, those numbers are not right. Okay, maybe they're not right. And we could talk about that a month from now. But right now, this is what the market's going to react to. So we are long and strong to the point that if you look at the SPY, we were gapping up above yesterday's high at 569.8. We're currently trading at 572.9. The Qs are gapping up above their high from yesterday, 484.55. We're currently trading just below 48. And then the Russell, the high yesterday was 417.23. Currently trading at 219.52. So right now, the bulls are clearly in control. Is that going to hold throughout the day? Most likely, but obviously anything can happen. So there's obviously quite a few things we should be chit-chatting about. But before we do, let me give you a very quick, obviously, as the CNBC Squawk Box panel was getting very political, this whole thing is political because these are that's the last unemployment report we're getting before the election. So this is what's going to be fresh in everyone's mind. So I think that does add a little bit of credence to the fact that maybe the numbers are bullshit and they just wanted things to look really good going into the election. Another thing they're doing is right here. Biden administration can move forward with student loan forgiveness, federal judge rules right before the election. Surprise, surprise. There's going to be a lot of things going down in October, obviously, just because they're doing everything. It's the final quarter mile before we're actually voting. So they're going to be doing a lot of stuff like this. Harris campaigns with Liz Cheney in a bid to win over Republicans skeptical of Trump. I think that's an interesting one, but okay, Liz Cheney throwing her hat in with Harris and not with Trump. Right now, Harris, according to the betting markets on Polymarket, has a slight lead, 50-49. As always, it's going to be coming. Well, actually, they're showing Michigan as now even closer. Harris had at one point she had a double-digit lead in Michigan, and that's actually now being cut in half. So the recent campaign efforts from the Trump campaign just in Michigan is proving to have some sort of impact, cutting it in half, but obviously it's still coming down to Pennsylvania and Nevada as really the key swing states. Worthwhile to pay attention there. And some news, actually, we talked about how you can now bet on the results of the election on Kalshi. Actually, you can even do it. This is brand new news from Interactive Brokers. I know many of you trade with Interactive Brokers, but IB gets into politics with a yes-no bet on race. Thomas Petterfree, dude, this guy is an OG. This guy came from a war-torn area, like financially distraught, comes here as a little kid. This is like truly, I guess, just one of the best examples of the American dream. Comes to America, nothing in his pocket, becomes a multi-billionaire. And he does it all through IB, and he is one smart cookie. But anyway, Thomas Petterfee firm is offering wagers on the outcome of elections as U.S. voters prepare to head to polls next month. So a couple other players getting into the game of being able to bet on the results of the election. All right, the other hot news that's somewhat political, but also more directly related to the market is the current strike going on. U.S. dock workers go back to work as talks extend to January. So I guess it's like a weird, awkward in-between pause with the strike that's going on. Remember, the Longshore Union representing 40,000 people. It's kind of the east coast of the U.S. and then a little bit under Florida, kind of getting into Louisiana and Texas in there. It's all those ports. Every single day that this is shut down, it's estimated to cost the U.S. economy anywhere from $3 to $5 billion. So it's a very big deal. And at first, like many people do, you kind of side with the people whose tribe seems most similar to you. So other just generic workers. So most of the time people side with the unions because, especially within America, we view corporate, I guess, like entities as like the big, bad, evil, like, I guess, group. But as more and more people have been diving into this particular situation, they're like, whoa, what's up? As I'm about to show you, heading into this, the average longshore union worker was already getting paid more than the average American. They already denied a 50% pay increase. And then when you look at the guy who's leading the union, it gets crazy. It gets absolutely crazy. But anyway, the Longshore Union to return to port terminals on Friday morning, as in today. Contract extend while union employers negotiate automation. So basically, on the East Coast, this particular union, which is not on the West Coast, that's a whole different group. They don't ever want to lose their jobs to automation. But then if you look at all the automated ports, they work way better. They're way more efficient. So this is kind of... I don't know. It becomes almost a philosophical argument of like, should we let technology continue to progress, which eventually will create a whole new form of job that we've never even had before? Or do we just say, hey, no, these people still need jobs, so we're just intentionally not going to take advantage of new technology? So like I said, it's a philosophical debate, and I think that's interesting, but I think what's more interesting is this guy who's leading the union. People are now pointing out that he might have mob ties. It should be a movie in itself.
How consequential is this? Because this is a suspension of the strikes that could resume in January.
this is another good thing for the economy.
Right. There are definitely some important issues that still need to be worked out, but it is consequential for just the near term. Right now, it means that cargo will start being unloaded again. The dock workers, there's about 47,000 of them. On the
47? I thought it was 40,000.
And East Coast ports who've been off the job since midnight on Monday. So this just 3 days of backlog could take almost a couple of weeks to clear. So that the fact that is getting moving again, I think everyone is very, it's welcome news. We saw the White House issue a statement, the National Retail Federation. So certainly everyone's excited, but there is a note of caution because they have to work with issues like concerns about automation that the union is concerned about. They want protections there. So none of that is set in stone. They'll have to continue these discussions between now and January 15th.
What do you see as potentially the real sticking points that we should be looking out for?
Well, as I mentioned, the automation issue is really the big one. It sounds as though there has been some agreement.
People feed families, not
wages,
robots.
Which was another sticking point. We have seen some reports and seen union officials saying that there is basically an agreement in a new contract to have wage increases that are close to 62% for the dock worker. That's much closer to what they had been asking
pay increase.
For. We saw that there was
and they want to say no automation
from the shipping lines, the employers on Monday for a 50% increase, and that didn't do the trick. But the White House has really been putting pressure on both sides this week to come to a deal. So it seems that there was agreement around the wages, but then that just means that the bigger, thornier question around automation, which we've seen that some advancements there on West Coast ports in the U.S. and certainly around the world. Some of those advancements haven't come to the East Coast and Gulf ports yet, and that's in part because of resistance from the union. And so they will have to work out language in the agreement that's acceptable to them.
So how important are these ports in the global supply chain, and how long will it take to clear up some of the backlogs that we might have seen this week given the strikes?
Sure.
Oh, they wanted a 77% pay increase? That's crazy. And they settled on 62?
The workers were on strike. It would take approximately a week to clear the backlog. Some more recent estimates have suggested it could be a little faster than that. We've seen, about roughly 12 days it would likely take. But still, that means for cargo, some of which, it's auto parts.
50% over 5 years is their raise, which is essentially nothing when inflation will increase prices 200% in 5 years. No, that's not right. It's not 50%.
The country's
it's
bananas.
62.
So that's just sitting there right now. We have
the
been
50% is what was denied.
Off of these ports, just rising each day. I think it went from about 19 on Monday to 43 today. So there's certainly a lot.
Also, where did you get 200%
unload? We know that
for inflation over 5 years?
Work will begin immediately, possibly as soon as tomorrow morning. It's not clear whether they'll be working through the weekend, but it is going to take some time. And all of these ports collectively are responsible for about 50% of the world's shipping.
50% of the world's shipping. So anyway, a little bit of a reprieve, but most likely it'll become an issue once again in January. So anyway, just to give you some context, how much money do dock workers make? More than half of the longshoremen who are the workers within this union earn $150,000 or more in the fiscal year 2019 to 2020, and just under 1 in 5 made $250,000 or more. So I get we're talking about percentage pay increase, but understand that most of them are already making $150,000 to $200,000. It's not like the average person is already making like $50K there and like they're like not being paid a livable wage. The average one, look at this histogram, look at the distribution. I mean, of course you have some of them making over 450. That's going to be the top guys. But look at, many of them are making over 250, with most of them making clearly over 100. That's crazy. This is the breakdown of it. So it's not like they're being paid scraps. And I'm not by any means saying their job's easy. I assume it's actually very, very difficult. But just to add a little bit of context, that I feel like a lot of times when we hear unions fighting, you find out like, yeah, they deserve their fair pay. They haven't been paying anything. They're already getting good pay. Very good pay. So I'm by no means against them getting a pay increase, especially when it's going to be over so many years. Because yes, there are things such as inflation. I fully understand that. But the fact that they are so blatantly willing to negatively impact everyone else, denying the 50% pay offer. They wanted 77. Apparently, they're settling at 62, 66. But the crazy thing is basically saying, hey, we don't want you to ever automate. You always have to hire people, even though it's been proven many times over that all the other major ports in the world that are allowing automation, yes, surprise, surprise, they're being run far more efficiently. And the crazy thing is the guy, actually the union leader, the port worker union leader, wears $10,000 chains, $1,500 glasses, owns a $350,000 Bentley and 4 other cars in his 5-car garage, and just sold his 76-foot yacht. This is the guy shutting down America for a 61% pay increase because 50% isn't good enough. This guy is rolling in money. We've already seen his home, and then the guest home, and the 3-oar pool. We've seen the Bentley. He has the 5-car garage. This is the 76-foot yacht he sold. This is the guy saying, nah, I'm not getting paid enough. He's literally in the top like 0.01% in America. Absolutely crazy. In 2005, the DOJ accused Harold here, that's the guy, of being in, I guess, a particular crime family, one of the 5 families of the U.S. Mafia. During the course of the trial, his co-defendant, Ricci, disappeared. His body was found weeks later in the trunk of a car outside of a New Jersey diner. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. 5 years ago, median home prices were $150K, currently $450K. That's 200%. And the government will print their way out of this again. That's silly to assume that the same inflation we saw from the COVID period till now is going to be duplicated going forward, because that was like the world was shut down. That's just poor math. That's poor statistics. Why would you assume the exact same monetary policy that has played out over the past couple of years is just going to be perfectly replicated going forward when we know that they printed those trillions of dollars because the economy was shut down? That's just poor math. Like that extrapolation, you wouldn't do that. It's not like we have the best bullish year ever and you just perfectly extrapolate it forward. The market's up 50%, so of course we're getting 50%. It's the same thing when you have the worst bear market ever. In 01, it's not like when the market dropped 50%, or 08, you'd be like, oh, okay, obviously we're going to drop 50% again next year. That's poor math. You would never, ever look at it that way. I don't know why you're trying to extrapolate like that, but I mean, I guess good luck. So anyway, coming back specifically to the market, obviously we already got these numbers. Average hourly earnings coming in slightly higher than expected. That's good. The non-farm payrolls, they were expecting 150, came in at 254. Unemployment coming in less than expected. That's why everything is very, very green. We're not really in earnings season, but we heard from Nike and Levi this week. We're going to have more next week. In about 2 weeks, we're going to start to get into earnings season, if I'm remembering it properly. But anyway, Nike, Levi's, they lowered guidance, so not so good. But speaking of individual companies that might be under a little bit of pressure, I want to show you a video of Salesforce. Everything I ate at the Salesforce office in San Francisco.
Everything I ate at the Salesforce office in SF. Welcome to week 2 of visiting a different tech office. Last week I visited Google, and now we're at Salesforce. They also have very unique and yummy orders. Obviously I had to start off with a lavender latte. Their latte art was phenomenal. Then I got some work done, and now for the taste test. They had this honeycomb mochi waffle, which was delicious, and this crispy fried potato with lox that I accidentally spilled on my laptop. Then we got some Italian ice and visited the game room and worked. And then I tried some more snacks. There was another floor that I checked out that had pastries, fruits, and macarons, so obviously I had to try. Comment down which office I should visit next, and follow for more for these tech series. Everything I ate at the...
People are legitimately making a tech series of the food you can get at all of these offices. What is going on in the world of tech? Crazy, 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 crazy. Anyway, speaking of tech, Zuckerberg, the guy who at one point was, I guess, the villain of Harvard, then became the lizard king of the world, and now apparently is just becoming cool. Well, he's now the world's 2nd richest person, at least according to public filings. Mark Zuckerberg is now the world's 2nd richest person, ahead of Jeff Bezos, which made me think, who is the top 5? And I got that list for you. The top 5 richest people in the world as of the moment that I'm filming this video, October of 2024. Coming in at number 5, we have Larry Ellison of Oracle, worth roughly $179 billion. Coming in at number 4, Bernard Arnault. He's the guy who owns a lot of individual fancy brands over in France. He's clocking in at $193 billion. Number 3, we have Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and now into the world of lifting and HGH, worth $205 billion. And just edging him out is Zuckerberg of Meta, aka Facebook, $206 billion. And still numero uno is our boy Elon Musk, coming in at $256 billion. Those are some wealthy people. Just some honorable mentions. Bill Gates, number 6, Larry Page. So we have Microsoft, we have Google, we have Microsoft again. That's Ballmer, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, Sergey Brin. Obviously, he's going to be Google. Ortega, Spain. What company is his? I can't recall his company off the top of my head. Michael Dell, he just sold a lot. Jensen of NVIDIA. I don't know what Ambani is doing in India. Walton, obviously Walmart. Adani, that guy lost a lot of money recently because of Hindenburg. Walton again. Carlos Slim, we know him from Mexico. Myers & Myers. The Koch family, this is a big oil, a big oil kingdom, and then they spread out. And then by the time we get down here, I really don't know who these players are. Mars, I assume this is just the candy company. Who are these? Alan Wertheimer, Consumers, France. I don't know. Those are some rich people. LVMH. You're looking for number 4, Bernard Arnault. LVMH. That's the company, the parent company that owns Dulce, Hennessy. There's Tag Heuer, the watches. They own many individual brands, but it's all under the LVMH umbrella. And at one point he was number 1 as tech was taking a hit, but now that tech's coming back up, apparently he's dropping to number 5. And since we're talking about the world's richest people, we might as well talk about the richest politicians in 2024. So coming in at number 5 on this, we have the Republican Mitch McConnell, worth about $5 million. And then we have coming in at number 4, the Republican Rick Scott, worth about this year, making about $7 million. Then coming in at number 3, we have the Democrat Mark Warner, making a bit more, around $11 million. Coming in at number 2, we have the Republican Mitt Romney, clocking in about $15 million this year. And number 1, the Queen of Wall Street herself, we have Nancy Pelosi, making about $21 million this year. These political trades, their profits are astounding. And I just love how it's not left, it's not right, it's all of them. It's just a swamp of corruption making some serious money. Now, obviously, if you want to track these trades in real time, swamptrades.com is the best place to do it. This is 100% free. In fact, there's no place to put your credit card in on this website. It lets you track what they're doing. It is the fastest website reporting it all and is 100% free. After speaking to the team who runs Swamp Trades, they just want more light being shown on this. So if you ever want to check out what politicians are doing, swamptrades.com. And just so you know, they are sponsoring today's Payday Friday giveaway. Around 10:30 today, we're going to be giving away $150. We're going to be picking 1 competitor from Rumble, 1 competitor from YouTube, and 3 competitors from Locals. So we're going to have 5 in total, 1 from Rumble, 1 from YouTube, 3 from Locals. This is sponsored by Swamp Trades, so show them a little bit of love. Like I said, you don't have to pay for anything. It's 100% free, swamptrades.com. So like I said, show them a wee bit of love. Now, before the market opens, we do have about 12 minutes. Here's a look at the newsletter. You could get this yourself, mattcoors.locals.com, every single week into your email inbox. I break down the previous week, what to look forward to in the upcoming week, all the major macroeconomic events, all the earnings. Right now, this section is a little bit sparse because there's not that many earnings. But I would argue most important is the seasonality. Historically, this day, Friday, October the 4th, has been favored by the Bulls. The Bulls do win it 69% of the time. But when the Bears win it, they win it with bigger size. So it's actually, from a profit factor perspective, a bit neutral. Here's a look at the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought it open, sold it, closed on the S&P 500 futures market. So at first it was bullish, then it favored the Bears, then it favored the Bulls. And in the past couple of years, it's been trending down. But in terms of hit rate, the Bulls win. In terms of the sizable wins, the Bears win. So today ends up becoming a bit neutral. So when you see neutral in terms of seasonality, you shouldn't think that the day's choppy. You should just think that, okay, like either side could win. You shouldn't really think, you shouldn't apply the seasonal success or failure for whatever side you want to win or you want to lose to represent the intraday action. That's not how seasonality works. So the way I would interpret this is, okay, I just don't care about seasonality today. I care about more of the market's interpretation of the news we just got, which was the unemployment report. And as you can see, the bulls are clearly in the driver's seat. Now, will they hold throughout the day? I have no idea. I hope they do, because then that's going to be another money-making day. Just to be transparent and let you guys know how things are going, I share all my wins. I share all my losses. I just want to let you know what it's like as it's the life of an actual trader. Yesterday, fortunately, I had a good day, making about $6.5 thousand before fees. So right here, at 10:04 in the morning, Piper fired off, which is my trading algorithm, recommended a put credit spread on the SPY and the Qs at 465 and 479. If you look at where the SPY and the Qs ended up closing yesterday, you're going to quickly realize that this paid, and it paid nicely. So the minimum amount of money you would have needed in your account to trade this is $360, and it would have returned $40. That's the minimum. Of course, you could scale it up as much as you want. Now, my trades, I got into Piper early. As you can see, I sold a put credit spread on the S&P 500 index. I choose to use that instead of the SPY. I sold at 95. That was around 10:02 in the morning. You can see about 40 minutes later, I bought it back for a loss. That one ended up costing me about $1,600. And the reason I did that is I really didn't like how hard we were dipping into the 11 a.m. hour. Obviously, it caught itself and then it dipped again. And if I held to the end of the day, I would have ended up being fine. But in real time, it was a little bit sketchy. So I ended up restructuring, and I ended up, instead of selling puts as in a bullish bet, I ended up selling calls, and you can see that paid nicely. So I sold 50 of these call credit spreads at 106 each, which means every single one, and I had 50 of them, returned $106. So that made me about $5,300 by the time it settled. And then a little later in the day, I was a bit more aggressive, and I sold even more questionable call credit spreads, as in closer to at the money. Sold at $1.50. This was the 5705s, bought them back at 10 cents before the end of day rip, which I'm happy I did. So that was another 2.8K. So my first trade lost me 1.6. My second trade made me 5.3. My third trade made me 2.8. So that nets out to be about $6,450 before fees. So the reason I'm bringing this is not only do you get the strategies such as Piper, not only do you get to see my trades in real time, and everyone in the Discord will attest that I do post these in real time. This would have paid for over an entire decade of the Goonie membership. This is the perfect day for you to join the Discord. Right here, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, you can join for free. As long as this promo code Goonie, Goonie, is entered, your first month is free. There is no risk to you. If you like it, great, stick around. I honestly think it's worth it, because this is how much I made for my real-time call-outs in one day. Would have paid for an entire decade of the service. But even if it's not for you, just cancel within the first month, and it would have never cost you anything anyway. This is a risk-free opportunity for you. For an entire month, you get my trades. You can watch all the lectures. You can get all the Piper signals. I am giving this away for an entire month, and it won't cost you anything. So if you don't like it at the end, right before the end of the month, cancel your account. And if you do like it, which I really think you're going to, stick around, and I honestly think you are going to be very clearly, evidently net ahead. So why is today the perfect day? Because not only can you sign up for free, once again, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, but then you're also going to be able to enter in today's Payday Friday giveaway. So what you're getting today, if you sign up right now, is you get a free month of everything, of the previous lectures, the Piper signal, the salad bar signal, my trades, the other members' trades, all the conversations, everything going on for free for a month. You're also able to enter into this giveaway where you might potentially win $150. Great. That's awesome. You get to do everything for a month, no charge to you. And if it's for you, stick around. If it's not for you, just set a reminder on your phone to make sure you cancel your account. But like I said, the reason I'm putting my money where my mouth is and giving this away for a month is because I think you're really going to enjoy it. And obviously the proof is in the pudding from this trade alone. So that's what's going on. Check it out. Like I said, macros.locals.com. Sign up. And just all I'm telling you is when you're signing out, when you hit subscribe monthly, just double check that promo code Goonies applied, so you do actually get that first month for free. Once again, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Now, with that being said, obviously the bulls are very much in control this morning. Let's switch to this up. I'm putting this on the 3-minute. The SPY just giving a little bit back now after tagging 573. Q's doing their thing here. I'm just getting all these charts set up. What do you guys want in the lower right? I'm going to let you guys pick this one today, at least for market open. What's moving right now that you're very excited about? I assume most people don't really want to be watching bonds. So what do you want in the lower right? How's everyone doing using the strategies? I don't know. I don't collect that data. If people exclusively stuck to Piper, they would be ahead, because Piper, every single day I post it. We keep track of it. We know exactly its success, its failures, its net ahead. I put that in the newsletter. So just sticking that, you'd be profitable. But sometimes people end up doing their own extra trades, and some of them are good, some of them are bad, the normal aspects of trading. We also talk a lot about the SIMDA funded like futures trading. We talk about systematic trading. I mean, people are in there all day discussing ideas, bouncing them back and forth. And like I said, it is riskless for you. Like, if you're like, I don't know if this is, your first month is free. Like, I don't want anyone to feel like they got God. So like, your first month is fully free. Like, so if you're there like, oh man, am I going to blow money for no reason? No, your first month is free. Test it out. Give it a whole full-hearted effort. And if you like it, great. And if it's not for you, I understand. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I get it. I fully get it. So check it out. For any of you who have questions, like I'm saying, you're not getting God. Your first month is free. Check it out. I keep a detailed spreadsheet on Piper. She is profitable. Would love to see some stats on Salad Bar. So Salad Bar is the newest one, Chris, obviously, as you know, and we're kind of working on it. And then we're also working on that market open iron condor. So Piper has been a strategy for a minute that I've tested years ago and I've been developing. Salad Bar is a newer one, and the newest one is the market open iron condor. So that's another point of like, we're actively working on new strategies, and still the members in there, as new strategies are built out, you get access to all of them. It's not like I'm hiding anything or anything like that. So strategies take a time, because not only do you have to do all the testing and come up with it, then there's a period where you want to do out of sample testing and see how it does on live data, as in like live market trade. So that's where Salad Bar is, and that's where the market open iron condor is currently at, is they're in the out of sample testing. So they might end up being phenomenal, but at this moment in time, I have the most faith in Piper, just because Piper's been around the longest and has the most data testing under it. You want me to buy you a cup of tea, you perv? All right. What did you guys want? You wanted JP Morgan. Zim is getting crushed. DJT, DND, GME, UPST, BTC, PLTR is actually moving today. That's probably a worthwhile one to watch. I mean, it's up 1.5% after gaining 4.7% yesterday. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Market's going to open up in about 2 minutes. Don't forget to sign up for the Payday Friday. My mods will drop it in chat. Let's quickly look at the founder's note here from Spot Gamma. Futures are up, blah, blah, blah. All right, if a miss under that, according to 0T, blah, 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 blah. So we have big support at 5,700. We have big resistance at 5,760. The problem with a larger rally today is that we do not think traders want to be short vol into the weekend due to geopolitical risk. Some pundits are citing that dock workers deal as a bullish trigger. We can fact check that through SPX fixed strike fall shown below. This is comparing last night's closing IV versus this morning's, and we see that IV is below the 1 week out higher, while longer dated IVs are a few ticks lower. On the net, the reaction means not much versus the IV change we have seen around the non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls is probably keeping a small bid to hold the shortest dated IVs. Even if the non-farm payrolls is non-event, we do think that vol can contract very much given the Middle East situation in upcoming. We do not think it can contract. Okay. Interesting. So as the market opens, obviously, as you guys have seen here, we're going to be able to check the flow, and we're also going to be able to map out the key areas. So here's Hero, here's Trace. I'm just getting everything ready for market open. Obviously, this is all going to reset when the market does officially open. Let's get the gamma levels up. We have some big levels up here. 5760 is some clear resistance at market open. Clear resistance. Wow. 5760 on SPX. And then let's see what it actually is. Yeah, a bunch of sold calls. We also have potentially a debit spread at 5775 to 5780. This player might have put that together as one trade. We also have a ton of support all the way down at 5565, but I don't think we're getting anywhere close to that today. But big support down here, big resistance up here, and a potential debit spread a little bit higher. That's how things are shaking up as we are about to get to the market open. We have about 15 seconds to go. Friendly reminder, it is a Friday. Don't do anything so stupid to ruin your entire trading week. You want to go into the weekend, obviously, a little bit happy. Respect your risk. Trade with the trend. I know many of you think the numbers are BS. I agree with you, but that doesn't change what's going on with the market. Let the price dictate what you do. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. Welcome to the world's largest casino. Play responsibly. If not, have fun. All right. So I do believe here, let me switch up my camera so you can see this. I think I fixed all of my issues from yesterday. You guys saw that I had a lot of problems with my newest code running on my futures accounts. So I believe I fixed it. I put in a couple hours of work and I think I found the bugs and made some improvements. So I just wanted to show you this, that as of right now, I've traded 0 of my 20 accounts. Yesterday, I ended up hitting on 18 of 20. I lost 2. Fortunately, I was able to trade enough accounts that I got those 2 back. So that's why I have 2 brand new PAs starting fresh at 50,000. So those should be trading. But like I said, I don't think I should have any of those surprise trades like I did yesterday. Remember yesterday we're like at 9:31, it was already trading. Generally for me, I like to wait those first about 10 minutes just to see how 10, 20, 30 minutes, just to see how the day is shaping up. I'm not the biggest fan of trading right at market open. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this before things start trading. You're going to hear it. It'll say order filled, order filled, order filled when it starts trading. So that's there. We're drifting a little bit. I would assume this, actually not much is happening in options. We don't have that much data. Options are pretty much flat, but once again, we're only about 1 to 2 minutes in the day. I do want to remind you, in about 1 hour, we are doing the giveaway. We're giving away $150. There's going to be 5 competitors. The Rumble competitor and the YouTube competitor will be picked in real time, so you don't have to worry about that right now. But if you want to be potentially representing locals, you can sign up right now. Let me show you what it looks like. All you have to do to sign up, follow the link pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, and just do what these other 53 people have done. All you have to do is post your name in here and give me a way to contact you in case you're the winner. So we're going to be picking some random people from here, a random person from YouTube, a random person from Rumble, and those are going to be the competitors. And then the winner is going to be getting $150, and I'll be sending it to you ASAP. So while you're waiting yourself for market to open, that could be something if you just want to quickly kill 30 seconds of your day. Like I said, you get the freebie sign up right now to get into the premium community by literally just using that code Goonie. It's not going to cost you anything. As you're doing that, obviously, don't forget, show Swamp Trades a little bit of love. This is the best way to track political insider trading, and it is free. All the stuff we're talking about today, you can get it free one way or another, whether it's a free month or Swamp Trades, which is 100% free, and there's not even a place to put in your credit card. But you can see what Pelosi's doing, Gothenheimer, all these people. All these people track what they're doing with their money. All right. Let me load this up. Let me see this. Looks like we have some profit taken out of the gate. I'm curious if this is just going to be a little bit of down and then all of a sudden we're going to swing. But obviously the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, even now the 4 hour is bullish. So across the board, the price action is above. It is on the bullish side of the moving averages. Same with the NASDAQ. I know we're tilting down right now, but still the 5 minutes bullish, the 10 minutes bullish, the 30 minutes bullish, the 4 hours actually now also bullish. So clearly, according to these EMAs, just like the exponential moving averages, that's all this is. This is nothing too special. Just a quick sanity check. The S&P 500 is bullish. The NASDAQ 100 is bullish. So just kind of waiting to see if there's some solid opportunity to take advantage of. You guys wanted Palantir. It's actually looking pretty good. I see Meta's recovering. Excuse me. Meta's already up. It's been up. Tesla's recovering from yesterday. It was down 4 or 5%. Now it's up 2.5. You have Coin up 2.9. Amazon up 2.2. Microsoft's up 0.5. Apple's up 0.6. Nvidia's up 0.7, giving those gains back though. Interesting. Small cap sector running into a previous high, reading at around 218. Today, imagine if today doesn't hold at all. Imagine if we end up just selling. I don't think that that's likely. I'm just saying we've seen crazier stuff. I think the likelihood of it is small. But imagine if we do just keep selling and selling and selling. How's Boeing doing? Boeing, someone asked about Boeing. It's up 1.2%. Texas Roadhouse is up 1%. Broadcom's up 2%. ASML's up 0.5%. Solana's up 3%. ETH is up 1.3%. DJT's up. Rum's in the green. Netflix is in. Pretty much everything's in the green. The only thing I see really down are bonds, and that's just because yields are ripping like no other. Interesting how much NVIDIA gave back right at that market open. The Q's catching a little bit of a bid. What are we? We're about 5 minutes into the day. So what's the initial data set looking like? Options, do we have a little bit of monetization here? Not really. The calls held. It was more some puts were being purchased, but now the calls are actually picking up on the index. For the equities, the things that make up the S&P 500, and yes, people are clearly buying calls. And then for the Mag 7, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla, puts are flat while people are buying calls. So granted, we only have a little bit of data right now, but on the little bit of data we have, yes, the bulls are clearly there. Will that hold? I don't know. We'll find out. What's going on with Elon Musk and AI and Walter Isaacson?
What do you make of this race where you see OpenAI, which seems to be clearly, I think, in the lead relative to everybody else, but you may think that everybody's very, very close to each other, and then XAI, which, by the way, at least by my eyes, has actually caught up or gotten very close very, very quickly.
Yes, XAI has caught up very much, and I saw Musk and Sam Altman together about a week ago. And there's, of course, a large bit of tension that goes back 4 or 5 years when they both started OpenAI, and now Sam is taking OpenAI and making it no longer open and no longer not for profit. And also telling people, if you invest in us, we don't want you to invest in others. What will be interesting is the script getting flipped a bit next week, October 10th, when Elon introduces robotaxi and things that operate in the real world. When Musk bought Twitter, he got this huge data feed of 1 billion tweets a day. When he has Tesla, he has 1 billion frames from cars every day. That's the data. The big thing you need is the data set to train on, and the big next leap is real-world AI, cars that drive themselves, robots that walk.
Well, one of the questions becomes how XAI is going to be integrated or not into the development efforts of these other products.
And let me tell you one thing about Elon Musk is that he tries to integrate everything. He's not going to set up walls and silos, even though some, Tesla's publicly traded, XAI.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So there's going to be an investor class that's in XAI, as we know. There's an investor class that's in Tesla. There's another investor class that's in SpaceX.
Look, when he took over Twitter, he brought engineers from Tesla and other companies to help build the AI there. He blurs those lines. Plus, he even has Neuralink, the company that's implanting chips in the brain. So if you're wondering, is he going to bring all these things together? My answer is yes.
Can I ask you a question about just the ability for him to advance as quickly as he has? I mean, literally, there was no true AI effort in terms of inside XAI that didn't exist a year ago.
I remember he called me to Austin, Texas, and sitting in the back of by a swimming pool in a house somebody had rented. He's telling me, I'm going to start from scratch an AI company because I don't trust Sam Altman.
So how much, though, is this a business that is just a function of processing power? If you have enough money to buy enough chips, and you can get NVIDIA to give them to you or to sell them to you, that you can be not just a player in this game, but be one of the top tier players. How much is it that versus the alchemy, the sort of software talent,
big
the engineering
resistance
talent
at
to be able to write algorithms? And how is it possible that in a year or less, this group has managed to do it while Google, which was clearly at the they were the vanguard of all of this at the beginning. And I actually think inside Google, they have all of the same type of talents, but I don't know if they have struggled to productize it or what's happened here. but it looks very different.
Yeah, and Google, you have Google DeepMind. They do Gemini, and it's Demis Hassabis, who is, in my opinion, the greatest mind at the moment looking at AI. But you're right. At the moment, Gemini is not racing ahead of Anthropic or XAI or OpenAI.
Major level thus far is this resistance.
Musk was very smart and good at getting NVIDIA chips, getting CPUs. That's one of the gating factors. He's creating his own chip, which is taking a longer time, a Dojo chip, which is going to do visual data. So and once again, you saw that blurring of the lines. He was getting some of the NVIDIA chips for, I think, Tesla, and then he was moving it to XAI.
That was from Walter Isaacson. He's the guy, pretty famous author. He wrote the biography on Elon Musk that came out earlier this year. So he's very much intertwined in the life of Elon. Today's the last day to try Trace for free. Unlock it here. That should be in the description of the video. My mods will drop it in chat. But if you want to use this mapping software of just like the key levels of resistance and support, this is the last day to try it for free. Like I said, my mods will drop that link in chat if you want to give it a whirl. All right. Are we missing anything else? Are we missing? I cannot believe the jobs report this morning. What is this one? If you like conspiracy theories, I don't know. This is the one I found connection between Paul Revere, Ben Franklin, Mozart, and blow your mind. Check it out, Booksource Tuesday. This guy writes so prolifically. He's writing so many books. Ben Mesrick. All right. What else? What is this? Breaking, MSNBC producer admits MSNBC is doing all they can to help the CARES campaign. No shit. I don't think anyone was like really questioning that. All right, where are we at? Not really moving anywhere thus far. Not move. Ooh, we have a little bit of pop in options right there. We had some volume come through at 940. Why? Volume come through at 940. I'm surprised Skynet hasn't traded yet. Not really. Actually, the Qs have been pretty sideways ever since 936. So I think if there's a big pop up above, I don't know, 47.75, I'm assuming Skynet's going to take some long positions, is what I believe my new code should be doing for me. The trend is obviously to the upside.
Order submitted.
Like I said, it should be going long on a pop. The trends to the upside right here. We know super trend's green, so I know it wants to be bullish. And then it's just targeting the intraday high. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how today plays out. Is Lady Luck going to be on my side? Come on. Where's the follow through, brother? All right. We did this. Come on. Show me the money. It looks like we've traded on 4 of the 20 accounts, and looks like it top ticked it on this. I don't hate it because it's not like it bought the intraday high. It's targeting the intraday high, so I'm not. I mean, of course, I love when it hits it right away, the days where it's so incredibly fast that I don't have to sweat anything. But I still think that this is a good trade. Looks like maybe it's curling around. I see NVIDIA picking up. Small cap is indecisive on the day. But tech and here, the options flow is nice. It's up. Index options flow is bullish. Equities option flow clearly bullish. And then you have the Mag 7. It was bullish until 940. Took a breather, but now it's upswinging. So maybe I'll get a bit lucky, but I don't know. Kind of just sideways choppy at the moment. But if I get a little bit of a follow through, these should pay pretty quickly. So not sweating yet. All right, come on. I guess I'm targeting 20236. 20236. And it was, I see why it went long. I mean, I guess there's just a chance you get unlucky, but I think I should be good. It's a confidence game. Yeah, see the Mag 7, the options flow maybe picking up right here. Come on. I just want to see the green bar just spike because that would be a lot of positive delta. which would cause it to go up. So that's what I'm looking for in real time. Literally, as I'm talking right now, that's what I want. I just want to see more of it. More of it. More. Ooh, now the Russell's going. And the Qs are not. The Qs are doing something I don't want them to do. Come on, brother. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute. Everything's still favoring the bulls right now. I get that on the minute chart since market open, this has been kind of choppy. The Russell just broke out. Small cap just broke out. Something had to happen here. What happened? What in the world's going on? Not much. I see that price is dipping, but the options market is not buying it. Clearly on the 1 minute, the SPY is dipping, the Qs are dipping, but I could show you in real time that the options market does not care. Options market is not going bearish. Look, it held, and now it's actually buying it. So this is one of the ways, like, it's not going to be foolproof, but one way to kind of spot the fake out breakouts and the fake out breakdowns is if the options market just does not care. So right there, in real time, we saw the SPY dip and the Qs dip. And why was I calling it fake? Well, I was calling it fake because options didn't care. They held flat. If you look at the S&P 500, they didn't care. In fact, they actually got more bullish into that dip. Same thing with the index. So, like, yeah, we had a bit of a dip, but when, I don't know, the way I view it is when you see such a stark mismatch, and in fact, the opposite of that is when the bullishness is more bullish, it just tells me that people are buying the dip. It tells me that people are buying the dip. And look at this. Should be able to smack this pretty soon. Come on, keep going. Keep going. I just need a little bit more here. October surprise, I suspect, will be a doozy, bigger than the Diddy thing. I haven't really heard anything. Are we just waiting on the legal developments there? Or his court case hasn't happened yet, right? On the Diddy thing, like, where are the lawyers just arguing? A little bit of whipsaw right here. We whipped down, we whipped up, we're wicking back down. So quite a bit of snappiness here in NQ. Let's see what the options are doing for it. Here's the Mag 7. Yeah, they dipped a little. The price is way more whippy and way more volatile than options. Options are actually holding pretty nicely. So the white solid line is the value of the underlying. In this case, it's the combo of Apple, Amazon. It's just the Mag 7. And then, so that's the white solid line with the price over here on the left. Obviously, time's on the bottom. And then the right axis is the delta reading. The green one is the 0 DTE, as in expiring today. And then the purple/red is all expirations put together. But once again, it's reading the delta. For those of you who aren't the most familiar with reading delta, obviously more delta is bullish, less delta, and it can go negative, is bearish. It's a reading of the bullishness and bearishness of the options market. I personally like it because it lets you know of, okay, are things in sync? Is price going up and options are bullish, or is there some form of a mismatch? Like right now, price is kind of getting hit on the Mag 7, yet options are actually staying pretty strong. If we look at the things that make up the S&P 500, same thing. Price is kind of lagging, but options are still strong. And then if you look at the bets on the index themselves, a little bit more in line with what the price action actually is on the day. So a little bit of mismatch here and there. Curious to see how this all plays out. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe there's any announcements at 10. Oh, wait, it's Friday. We should be getting the consumer sentiment report at 10 a.m. today, shouldn't we? Austin Goolsby is speaking. Does anyone know if we're getting a 10 a.m. announcement? The consumer sentiment. Let me check another website. I don't want to be spreading false information here. False info. What are we getting on Friday? No, I'm not seeing anything at 10 a.m. I even went down to 2-star stuff. The next thing is 1 p.m. Williams is speaking Friday. I guess there's nothing at 10. All right. Well, hopefully that doesn't screw me. Hopefully it's, if anything, it's beneficial. All right, where are we at? SPY perfectly flat, Q's perfectly flat. Right now, the only major level I'm seeing in the market is this upside resistance at 5,760, and you can see it perfectly right here. A lot of calls are sold at that level. Quite a bit of gamma. So 5,760 is clear upside resistance. You could argue we have some support down here between 5,720 and 5,705, that 15-point region. Look how flat this is. It's just not doing anything. What's the stability? 59% stability. So that's a pretty high reading, as in we might not be getting the most craziness. And look at this. We really haven't moved since market open, which is a good explanation, once again, of why I try to really not trade those first 10, 20, 30, 45 minutes. Obviously, I'm doing my scalp stuff, but when I say not really trading, more so options related. Shoot. Are we finally picking up here? What are we doing? Are we showing a little bit of life? Are we coming back to lock this in? What are we doing, brother? Why did Apple get smacked? Because there was more. Why does anything get smacked? Because there's more selling than there is buying. There's more selling aggression than there is buying aggression. Uh-oh. Do I want to cut these and save myself a little bit? Why does anything go up? Because there's more buying aggression than selling aggression. It's like, I mean, you can sit there and try to figure out why there's more aggression on one side or the other, but does it matter? What matters is the price, and are you on the right side of the price? Once again, if your reasoning for non-farm payrolls beating is right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's just, are you on the right side of it? Like, there's a gazillion examples of being able to explain what's going to happen right in the market, as in some sort of binary event, and then yet the market still reacts the opposite way, to the point that, like, does it matter? The only thing that really matters is, are you on the right side of the price movement? It doesn't matter if you can explain why the price movement is there or not. It just does not matter. The Qs just hit a fresh low. I do want to call that out. I also want to call out that there are downside gap fills. If you look, where is it? SPY daily. There's a downside. Oh, here. There's a downside gap fill on the SPY to 569.80. There's a downside gap fill on the Qs to 484.55. There's a downside gap fill on the Russell to 217.23. So if we start to break, like if the SPY and the Russell breaks the way that the Qs already have, those might be some legitimate targets to consider. But I myself, as I'm saying, I'm trying to wait. I'm trying to not do anything too crazy until the start of the new hour, which is about 7 minutes away. So I'm marking out the highs and the lows just so we know for breakouts and breakdowns from this kind of boring, very boring opening range. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, the alerts are set. This Q's one, a new Q low might be triggering pretty soon. We're not that far away. NVIDIA's not looking the best. Russell. Ooh, do I want to cut these positions? Should I manually intervene, or should I have faith in Skynet? Should I manually intervene here? Equity options are kind of going flat. Mag 7. Okay, so the Mag 7 started to get sold at 950 right here. And then that's led to, obviously, additional selling. Now, will it bounce back? I have no idea. All right, what do I want to do? Do I want to try to save these accounts? Or do I just want to... I'll cut to... I'll meet myself in the middle. All right, I'm cutting 2 just so they survive to fight another day. All right.
Order filled.
And then the other ones, do I want to reverse it? Do I want to try to get lucky?
Order filled.
I'll reverse it and maybe I'll get lucky. So saving 2 just to see what happens and taking a risk on the other 2 because that was 4 accounts there. All right, cool. Oop, SPY, maybe a little bit of a breakdown here. All right, cool options, vertical, 20. All right. Wait, it filled 1? How did it only fill 1? That's baloney. Give me my fill. All right. There we go. All right. Finally, as you guys heard that ding, I got my fill here. I'm putting this in the Discord. There we go. Hopefully, I've kind of found that when I end up trading quite a bit, that's when shit goes wrong for me. So I'm hoping that this is my only trade of the day, because if it's my only trade of the day, it means that I'm actually fine and I really didn't feel that much pressure. So if you're in the Discord, I just threw in a trade. Obviously, I'm front running Piper a little bit, but maybe I'll get lucky. I don't know. Sometimes I front run Piper and it works, and other times I front run Piper and it ends up costing me a lot of money. But anyway, if you're in the Discord, I just posted the trade I made into Thick Trades. And if it hits, it should be about a 2K return. And I'd be very, very happy with a 2K Friday. Very, very happy with a 2K Friday. But right now, what we're seeing is the Mag 7 started dumping at 950. The things that make up the S&P 500 also started dumping at 950. And then the S&P 500 itself, really jolted down here at 955. It's trying to recover a little bit. But as you can see, the SPY made a fresh low and the Q's made a fresh low. NVIDIA is making a fresh low. As I'm letting you guys know, there are downside gap fills today. And the SPY is, I guess, close to hitting it. So the SPY, 569.80. I'll set an alert, edit alert, crossing down. So we know if that gets hit. The Q's already got their gap fill, as in the high from yesterday. So if you played that, a massive congrats to you. That was a pretty smart play.
Order submitted.
Oh, shoot.
Order submitted.
Oh, okay. We're going. Are we going to make money on this or what? 3, 2, 3. Went short. Almost got a fill. But no cigar. No. It was so close to getting its fill. No. Come on. I need to hit something today. It was so incredibly close. It got as low as 84. My fill was at 83.25. Come on. Don't screw me so hard today. Oh, it just got back to break even. It's just teasing me. Oh, wait. Sorry. Charts are frozen. Sorry. It just went short. Almost got the fill. Bounced back up. Just got back to being green. Now I'm back in the red. It was so close. Where my cursor is, it got as low as 84, and my fill is at 83.5. So it was 2 ticks away, which is like 6 cents in QQQ. Come on. Give me my fill. I just needed a little bit more. That was how close? How freaking close, man. No. Uh-oh. Not having the best vibe here. Not having the best vibe here. Okay, so the Qs are now obviously finding support at that high. While the SPY technically didn't hit, we were a couple cents away from hitting that gap fill. All right, come on. Give it to me. Give it to me. I want to see a bunch of green.
Target filled.
There we go. Some got filled. There we
go.
Boom.
Target filled. Target filled.
You see how quickly that changed? It was all red. There was a bunch of naysayers in here. There was a bunch of negative Nancy's. There was a bunch of people holding their breath for looking old Mateo, wishing I would blow out. A lot of people saying, but what's Mac going to do? What in the world is Mac going to do if he loses all of his accounts? All I can say to that is, I guess we're never going to know because it was printing. So these were from earlier today, the big ones, so don't worry about those. But in real time, 405, 310, 305, 305, 305, 305, 305, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205, 205. There you go. To all the haters out there, my sincerest apologies. It must be so incredibly difficult being you. It must be so freaking hard being you day in and day out, hoping that I somehow take any form of even the most minute pico misstep. And it's just like, you're feeding on air at this point. I wish I could give you something, but folks, when you're the best trader on this side of the Mississippi, it's just green all day, every day. It's just freaking green all day, every day. I'm sorry, folks. I wish I could give you something to hold on to, but I can't. Does Apex take a percentage out? Yeah, they take 10% of your profits after your first 25K per account. So you're allowed to have up to 20 accounts in your overall account. So the first $25,000 of profits is yours. And then after that, you're in a 90-10 split with the company where you keep 90%. Obviously breaking down there, brother. Piper fired. Sorry. And all that excitement. I'm a little late on giving you guys Piper because this vomited obviously pretty hard. Yeah, I was a little late. Piper actually fired just at 10 a.m., so I'm about 2 minutes late. My apologies on that one. But we're going to see how today goes. And actually, how's my other play? I did front run Piper today, which sick. Already up $500, as you guys can see. So that trade that you just saw that I had on the screen for a split second was already called out in real time on the Discord. Ask anyone in Discord if it's in there. It's in there. I called it out as soon as I made it. You saw how much money it's already up. That would have already paid for pretty much an entire year of you being in the Discord. So should you be in the Discord? Yeah, I would very much argue it pays for itself if you take it seriously, if you really pay attention to the lectures of what's going on there. And I guess my biggest pitch to you of like why you should care about this one opposed to every other furu and guru in this space is a lot of these other furus and gurus, it's stupid fucking technical analysis that everyone already knows and you could get for free. And it's just like a bunch of gut like feels and signals. What this is in there, my background's in computer science, it's literally just like algorithmic, systematic stuff. So some of it is pure systematic, as in this is how you make a system, this is how you train it on Apex. And then other ones, such as the Piper system itself, it's just clearly back-tested. I give out the odds. Here's your hit rate. Here's your miss rate. Here's the average win size. Here's the average loss size. It's just all backed by actual math. Like true math, historically how things have played out in the market. It's none of this like gut feel like, oh, I think about this. The only like gut feel bullshit in there are like kind of my swing trades, but even that's a quasi system that I already have built. Sometimes I choose to scale in and scale out based on gut. But other than that, the signal itself is still just like based on historic market data and looking for previous patterns to play out again. That's why we have the saying in the market. The market doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So it's just like, okay, how many other times have we been in a similar situation? How's that situation played out? Okay, is there enough of a data statistic skew to make it worthwhile to play that way again? So that's what's going on there. So if you're looking for a place of just someone like, oh, this is my gut feel, and we're going to rip that, it doesn't exist in there. It's much more for people who like just are attempting to actually learn like quality trading systems to do day in and day out, not like the high octane, like hype bullshit. I've been in that world of high octane hype bullshit with GameStop and AMC. And as a person who has firsthand experience dealing with it, it ends in disaster. It's fun and it's great and it works until it doesn't. And then everyone else loses money. It's just simply not a sustainable way to count on profits. What is a sustainable way to count on profits is a positive expected value trading system that it gets very boring because you're doing the same thing every single day, day in and day out, no deviation. And that's actually the tough thing, is the discipline to stick towards the system. And that's why sometimes I actually find the biggest advantage is to fully automate it, because with full automation, like you're kind of taking yourself out of it. You're taking yourself out of the situation of making like emotional decisions. Anyway, on that craziness, you can see that the index dropped, double bottomed here at 10, and now we're getting a little bit of a bounce. You can still see, whoa, something big changed at the 60s. The gamma dropped, but it's probably not because the position disappeared. It's just because we're farther away. Yeah, the position's still there. It's just the gamma reading is less when you're farther away from it. Gamma is the highest at the money. So even though right here you see the gamma, this purple bar dropping, it's only dropping because we're farther away, not because the position disappeared. Same thing with what's going on at 5,730. 5,730. Someone has long puts at 5,730, and they haven't changed their position either. But the reason why the gamma is becoming more negative there, technically 5,730 and 5,735, is just because now we're closer to it. There's also this giant put credit spread right here at 5,625 and 5,615. So in the event that we dip a lot, you might be able to play that. But right now, to get in on that position, the credit's probably not worth that much. It's probably not worth it for you to play it because we're just way too far away. But right now, let's look at this misprint right here. This data issue at 8:30 is why it's all wonky. Like this giant candle, that's not a real print. Something messed up in the data feed on the SIP. So it's just a mess up. I wish, is there a way? No, I can't. I was going to say if I could just like start the day at 9 in general, we could probably get away from it. What if I zoom in more? Is that what I need to do to get rid of it? Nope, because it's still going to show that. Shoot. Okay. Anyway, 5,700. Yes, obviously that's going to be a key level. There's some puts are being sold at 5,700 and then also 5,705. So you do have some support there. Like I said, I know it's difficult to see today. You could see it a bit better right here, but quite a few puts sold at 5,700 for a reasonable bounce. That's no surprise. Key technical level, key support level. But I do want you to know there are now calls being sold at 5,720. So if we were to mark some of this out for everyone. So we know there's a lot of support here. Not a lot. There's more support at 56.25. But as of right now, we do see active support here at 5,700. If you are bearish, I think that's a reasonable target level. And if you're looking to play a reversion, I would look for a bottoming formation off of that. And I really would not be surprised if we do bounce there. But I do want to clarify that in real time, there's added pressure to the market to get below 57.20. And the reason for that is right here. You see that there's quite a few sold calls. When you're selling calls, you're betting on it going below. And that's exactly why we're probably going to go below 57.20. Just to throw that out there to everyone. And look at that. We're starting to get smashed. Starting to get smashed. Well, It's a good day to be a Goonie because the Goonie plays are already paying. Apex crushed, the Piper's already crushing, and then my trade out that was a slight early run on Piper is already paying nicely. I guess I don't know what to tell you. I asked someone in the Discord about how the trades have already gone today, and if they're in there, they're going to tell you that they're going pretty freaking nicely. Well, while we're waiting, the SPY is now overshooting its downside gap fill. The Qs are now overshooting its downside gap fill. The Russell, did the Russell get its gap fill? No, not yet. So the Russell still has a downside gap fill opportunity if you're looking to play that. There's a downside gap fill to 217.23, but things are getting kind of hit as options are vomiting on the index. Options are a flow alert too on the equities, and then on the Mag 7, we're hitting fresh delta reading lows. Remember, the delta reading is the bullishness and bearishness in the options market. So if the delta is very low, that's pretty bearish. If it's very high, it's very bullish. So we were bullish until 950, and then something switched. You could have new bears entering the market. You could have profit taking. You could have a combo of the two. But right now, things are vomiting. This is a perfect example by why you should not be married to a bias. As soon, like I think too many people, myself included, a lot of the times when I am talking about retail, a lot of the times I'm referring to myself and my own experience in the market. But I think it's just because I'm an average fucking Joe, so I think it's very relatable to a lot of you. But there's this thing called anchoring bias, and it's a psychological phenomena in many aspects of life, but you particularly see it in the world of trading. And what your anchoring bias is, and it really plays into the world of recency bias of you anchor it, and you see this a lot in negotiations of whatever number you're seeing in the stock market, whatever number you first hear in, like, let's say your pay negotiation, you anchor to that number. And then on top of that, you have recency bias. This is more specific in the world of trading, but you also have recency bias, maybe also in the world of negotiations through the lens of, like you hear, well, let's take NFL payments, for example. Recency bias is, you know how many, like whatever, Justin Jefferson just got paid, whatever quarterback just got paid. And then, so you're thinking about that number, and whatever was happening, that's in your mind. And then also anchoring bias happens to deal with like the first numbers that are thrown out. So my reason in bringing this up is it is very bad. It's actually detrimental in the world of trading because it is very easy for us from 8:30 this morning till 9:30 this morning to have the recency bias of just bulls are in control. We saw that. We're like, no, the bulls are in control. Look, it's going up. So we're, as humans, we're like dumb little monkeys, like furless monkeys saying, oh, no, it's up, so it has to keep going up. We assume what just happened is going to continue happening. Obviously, that's not true in the world of trading. And then also in terms of anchoring, we anchor it to that value. So when people are like, well, I bought that, so that's the good value. Well, I needed to go back up to that just so I could get out for break even. So once again, we're talking about recency bias and anchoring bias. These are psychological phenomena that you see in all of life, but specifically in the world of trading, that is hyper detrimental. Oh, Pudge TV just rated the stream. What's up, brother? I hope you're having a good one. We're talking about some psychological issues of trading. So anyway, and actually, you see it all the time, not only in politics, you see it in negotiations, you see it, it's just a thing that plagues the human mind, is you have recency bias and anchoring bias. So specifically in the world of trading, your recency bias would be the fact that we saw a bunch of green, so you expect it to keep going up. Anyone who looked at pre-market trading would say, hey, dude, it's going up. So because of that, you assume it's going to keep going up. And then the anchoring part would be like, okay, well, if you thought it was going up and you bought, you're anchoring to that value. So let's say you bought the SPY at 572. You're like, no, 572 is the fair value. Why is it fair? It's fair because you got in there and you're now trying to get at break even. Those are two things of many psychological things that you're going to want to identify in yourself of however it manifests, and do everything in your power to quickly get rid of it. Because as much as things were green, I mean, evidently, if you just waited, you're like, oh, actually now it's trending down. So I get that pre-market was strong and everyone was stoked, but look at, we just, like, it all changed at 954. I would actually argue in the options market, it changed a bit early at 950. The options market sell-off was kind of like a leading indicator that we were about to get crushed. But my point is that you have to be nimble like that. So like you're doing everything in your power to get away from all those like psychological issues and just be like, oh no, okay, like you have to be able to switch. And I think that's a very, like, not to get too philosophical, but I think that's a very painful thing for most humans to do, is because in one form or another, it's just kind of admitting you were wrong. It really is. So like, and that's a painful thing for any human to do, is be like, nope, I was wrong. Here I was thinking it was bullish. I mean, fuck, I'll admit it. At market open, with the non-farm payrolls, with the unemployment report, and we all know that they're BS, but yet the market was up. So you're like, oh, cool. The bulls are going to run today. And then 20 minutes into the day, 25 minutes into the day, it became evident that that initial, I guess, bias was wrong. But I think it's just super painful for humans to admit that they're wrong. And what's crazy about trading is a mechanism that the people who can admit they're wrong the fastest are actually the most profitable. So like you're kind of going against, I don't know, like some base instincts. And I don't know if it's like an evolutionary thing where like it's just for survival, or if it's a societal thing that just no one wants to be wrong, or whatever it is. But it's kind of crazy because trading is really the exact opposite. What's the most painful thing to do is to admit you're wrong. And then yet we've all had that experience of when you're trading, and the second you cut it, it's almost like an emotional like load is just lifted off your shoulders, and you're like, oh yeah, no, that was dumb. And all of a sudden it's so crazy how quickly it happens, of like you get out of the bad position, and then all of a sudden there's like this explosion of clarity, that like a new vantage point at which you can see the market, because you're no longer seeing it through the lens of your shit position that you know you should not be in. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. Folks, in 15 minutes, we're doing a Payday Friday $150 giveaway. We're picking a person from Rumble. We're picking a person from YouTube. We're picking 3 people from locals. The Rumble participant and the YouTube participant are going to be selected in real time, so there's nothing you could do at the moment. But in real time, you can throw your name in on locals. Folks, just follow all the links. My mods will drop it in chat. This is a free thing for you to do to get onto locals. Just use the code Goody, and then also show a little bit of love to swamptrades.com. Swamp Trades, they are the sponsor of this particular giveaway. It is a free service that lets you know what politicians are doing in real time with their money in the stock market. Obviously, the recent story all relates to the Pelosi's and what they did with Visa. Somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. They dumped their Visa position a couple weeks before, surprise, surprise, the government announced a DOJ investigation of the company for potential monopolistic practices, antitrust types of issues. Obviously, Visa took a big hit on that news, so the Pelosi's once again got away, avoiding this entire like just downturn in the stock. So surprise, surprise, the Pelosi's, as they commonly do, they utterly crushed it, as they always do. So anyway, show a little bit of love. Like I said, it's free, swamptrades.com. We are going to be doing the giveaway at 10:30, so you have about 14 more minutes to figure out how to get entered. Obviously, in the meantime, we're going to be watching this recovery. Not so surprised that the market's bouncing here. I mean, that was a pretty like hardcore sell-off. So a little bit of a recovery bounce is to be expected. The question is it going to be enough of a bounce to actually go from bearish to bullish? So we opened up today neutral, sideways, then it vomited. Now we vomited enough that we're trying to recover. And in my book, a potential like structural shift here would be actually if we take out 571.16, which is not far away, and then for the Qs to take out what it just took out. So in the most rudimentary sense, I think one of the easiest things people can start to learn, especially for new traders, new investors, new market participants, is generically learn how to tell the current trend of the market. There's a couple ways to do it, and I wouldn't say one's better than the other one. They're just different ways to do it. But I think one of the first things you could do is just look at the highs and the lows. So I just put on an indicator. It's called fractals, but basically it just marks out the recent highs. It also marks out the recent lows. Obviously, the green arrows are the recent highs. The red arrows are the recent lows. Clearly, we're trending down. Lower highs, lower lows. That's a bearish trend. Clearly, like no one would argue that lower highs and lower lows is somehow a bullish trend. So you can, if you already had a bearish position, yeah, you probably want to stay in it as long as that trend is continuing. Now, on the flip side, if you're looking to get in, you might want to get in on a potential trend reversal, as in we're going from lower highs to lower lows. Maybe you're looking for a fresh high and you're saying, okay, potential. And then you pay attention to where the next low is, because if you have a fresh high and like, let's just say that this happens, you break out of 5731. So that's a fresh high. Then you wait, see how it plays out, pay attention to wherever the next low is, because if the next low is higher than this low of 5710, well, now you went from lower highs and lower lows to a new high and a new low, the new high and the new low being higher, as in a potential trend reversal. And then guess what? If you play that, you're able just to risk whatever that recent low is. So you have well-defined risk. You're getting in on a potential trend reversal. You never know what the next bar is going to be. You don't know if it's going to favor you or go against you, but at least you're getting in at a potential inflection point rather than just like an arbitrary like moment where you're like, I don't know, I have a gut feel. The MK Show, where Rembo goes for financial analysis, LFG. Shout out, man. Shout out. That's very kind of you. We go to your channel to learn how to make pizza art, which honestly, I think yours is more exciting. Matt, why don't you do the voicemail segment anymore? And do you hear all about the NC stuff and the lithium mine? I just kind of forgot about it. So that's why we haven't done the voicemail. I mean, we can do it. Sure. I mean, it's still, the phone number's still live. And did I hear about the North Carolina stuff and lithium? Yeah. So there's this small town. I'm not an expert on it. I guess I should start with that. But there's a small town in North Carolina that's actually a major producer of lithium, which is incredibly important. It's an upstream product that is necessary. It's a commodity that is necessary to a lot of technology. But lithium, you're specifically going to find that in batteries and also semiconductors. So the fact that this town is unfortunately got devastated by the storm, it could have downstream impacts on a lot of necessary components in the world of technology. That's what I know about it as now. I'm sure in the coming weeks we're going to get more info on like how bad is or how good is. But there is something to pay attention to there for sure. Matt, happy Friday. Thank you for everything you do. Shout out Steven. Steven is a longtime member of not only YouTube and Rumble, but also of Locals. He's in the Discord. We have a good crew going on over there. A lot of people making some good money lately, which I'm always stoked about, especially as the person running the Discord. To show you the options flow in real time, folks, we're about 8 minutes out from the Payday Friday. Don't forget to sign up on Locals. My mod will put it in chat. I just need a way to contact you. We're going to pick a random person off Rumble. We're going to pick a random person off YouTube. We're going to pick 3 random people off Locals. Then it's a winner takes all, $150. It's free to enter on all of those. You could enter on as many as you want. All right, I'm going to mark out this recent high, which was not taken out. Remember before of how I was just saying, look for the lower highs and the lower lows? We still have a lower high. We did not puncture it. So we're still in a bearish trend. And we're actually getting, I guess, kind of sucked into this key level at 5720. The reason I say it's a key level, can I zoom in? Nope. Is because right here, right where my cursor is, I know it's tough to see, and it's tough to see just because of that random data misprint, but there was a bunch of calls sold. When you sell calls, you're betting on it being below that value. So there's a bunch of calls sold right at this level. Someone is betting that, yes, we will in fact go below this. So I just want to point that out. That's a large bet currently in the market. And then there's a bunch of support at 5,700. So right now, these 2 yellow lines, here, let me get rid of the blue lines just so they're not confusing. These are the key levels. There's a big bet that we stay below 5,720. There's a big bet saying that we stay above 5,700. These are the 2 close key levels that I would argue are worthwhile to pay attention to. What else do we have? 57. All right. And then another one is 5740. So people are saying we're staying below 5740 today, which what is that? That's all the way up here. So big bet there as well. Big bet there as well. 5720. Do I want to take that? Do you guys think that's a crazy bet before we get into the Payday Friday? Do you feel better, Matt? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm about like 85% better, 90% better. That's very kind of you to ask. I don't know. For those of you who don't know, not only did I get into a fight with my kitten who scratched me and gave me a bacterial infection, I went to go get the bacterial infection checked out. And when I did get it checked out, I was told that, hey, surprise, surprise, you also have COVID. So that's been fun dealing with a bacterial infection from a cat scratch, and also COVID. But with COVID, I don't know, folks. If you're a healthy person, it's a 4-day affair. You have 2 bad days. You have 2 sluggish days. Monday and Tuesday were horrible. Wednesday and Thursday, I felt a little bit foggy. Today, I'm just slightly congested. Honestly, I feel like by the time I get to Monday, I'll be perfectly back. I don't know. Like you just, my big tip, chug water. Chug a lot of water. Boom. You know, just, that's my tip. Chugging a bunch of water. Chugging a bunch of water. Why? Someone has long calls and long puts. So that long put player, 5-7-40. This is that weird. Is it a debit spread? I'm confused of what these calls are doing up here. Someone has long calls to 5-7-50, long calls to 5-7-4-5. What the fuck are they doing? What time is it? It's 10:24. The delta putting in potentially a higher low here on the equities and on the Mag 7. The index is not looking good, though. Almost at a fresh low. It is getting hit pretty hard. 5,700. I wish... Ooh. 5740. Okay, so I'll give out a freebie call out. Okay, see how we pump, then it got smacked. We kind of turned down here at 10:08. Then we pump, then we got smacked here down at 10:20. On the next pump, on the moment it starts to turn, I'm giving you guys a free call out right now. This is my biggest pitch of why you should join the Discord, because this is the type of stuff that we discuss day in and day out. On the next pump, when it turns, so it's a big if-then statement. If we pump, if we start to turn over, then, so I need those 2 criteria to be true. I'm looking for a pump. I'm looking for the turnover. And when I say pump, an example of that would be from 10 to 10:07. An example of that would be from 10:11 to 10:18. So that's step 1. Step 2 would be I need the turnover, such as what we saw at 10:08, such as what we saw at 10:20. If I see a similar event to that, I'm then going to sell calls at 5,740, which is pretty much right below where we open. So that's what I'm looking for. I will sell the premium at that level at 5,740. I'll spread it. So I'll sell the 5,740 call. I'll buy the 5,745. I'll make it a credit spread. And I think one of those, one lot, will most likely end up paying for a month of the Discord. So that's the next play I'm looking for. I'm giving this out for free to kind of explain the thought process and how these things type of work. But I'm looking for some form of a pump, some form of a turnover, and then I want to target this level. And specifically why I'm targeting that level is because I want to join this player. Someone has sold 1.4 thousand contracts on the SPX at 5,740. I want to go with that person. I want to go with that big player because it feels like they know something that I don't know. And then honestly, if we dip a second one, and I feel less confident about this, but if we dip, I would love a dip below 5,700 because then that might set up an opportunity to sell the 5,690 or the 5,680 because there is support there. So I think there's a good shot that we end today in between these 2 bounds, in between 5,740 and 5,700. I think we could go outside of those bounds as we're trading today, but I think where we conclude, like where we're at 4 p.m., I think we're below 5,740 and I think we're above 5,700, just the way the options market is getting structured today. In the off case that we have a huge sell-off, like a big sell-off, and it just keeps going and going and going, I would personally I'd be interested in selling premium as close to 5,625 as I can, but obviously that would be like a noteworthy sell-off. It would be a huge sell-off. I mean, we're talking all the way down here. So just in case things get like really nutty, is that possible? How's the VIX looking? I mean, volatility, it is picking up. For that to happen, you would actually see volatility probably break out above 21. So it could happen. I don't think it's the most likely scenario, but it's definitely a thing that could be going down today. So those are the if-then bull bear statements that I'm looking for things to play out. I feel no particular pressure to rush into a trade today because I've already done all my futures trades. You guys saw that. I already put on my main options trade. As of right now, I sold it at 90 cents. It's currently trading at 28. I'm up 71%. I'm up 1.6K. I am more, hey, 1K a day keeps the doctors away. So I'm happy with that. So I don't really feel a need to have to do something else, especially when it's a Friday. Like, I just don't want to risk messing up my weekend. So if I see a nice opportunity, I'll take care of it. Obviously, in hindsight, I wish I sold the 40 right here at 1020. But I miss it. You're going to miss a lot of trades. You can't beat yourself up for missing trades. You're going to miss a shitload. I'm just looking at SPX right now. If talking about missed opportunities, I probably could have taken care of Apple here at 951. Microsoft, you could have played the breakdown at 956. NVIDIA, right here, you missed that one at 1020. So, if you're looking at the market and just thinking, oh, I missed a trade, look a little bit harder and you're going to realize you actually missed a gazillion trades. So you shouldn't be judging yourself by a missed trade, because in reality, you're missing hundreds of opportunities per day. What you should be saying is, are you only taking the highest setup trades? If you were to, rate them, what you should be judging yourself on is, are you only taking good ones? You shouldn't be judging yourself on, did you miss good ones? You should be saying, did you only take good ones? But anyway, so with all that being said, we're going to have to put a little bit of a pause to really watching the market, because it is time to do the Payday Friday giveaway. So we're going to pick someone off of YouTube. We're going to pick someone off of Rumble. We're picking 3 people off of Locals. If you haven't entered on Locals yet, I'll do that last, so you still have time. So let's kick things off with picking our competitor from, I'm trying to get Nightbot ready, from YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, and I know this is weird of me to ask, but I'm going to ask you to kind of spam chat really quick, because you're going to be able to see what's happening. We're going to do a random number. So as you guys comment, you're going to see your chat over here, and you're going to see your name populate on the side. What's happening is everyone's name who's on the side, it's going to be monitoring what you comment. And when I say that, is it's going to be looking to see if you can guess the right number. So when I hit the button, roll it, it's going to pick a random number between 0 and 100. The first person who comments the correct number, as in one of these people over here, is going to be the winner, as in the representative for YouTube. So I think you can understand it. So all the people spamming right now, they're just getting their name logged in. I haven't actually hit roll it. I'm just getting ready. I'm getting ready. I got to find a clean piece of paper. All right. So we have YouTube, we have Rumble, and we have Locals. All right. We're going to go 5 competitors. Obviously, I should be taking this off the screen so you guys do not cheat. All right. We are rolling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. The number's up there. And it's the first person who can comment the correct. Oh, we already got it. The answer was 25. The answer was the old 25. And congratulations, Resendez. Second guess was 34. Could you please get a hold of Chaos? He's the mod in chat, and let him know the best way to contact you. If this is you and you're hearing me right now, please contact the best way to get you. The answer was 25. Resendez was the first person to comment 25. So whether we just need your Twitter account, your Instagram account, your email, just some way to reach out to you in case you are the winner. Resendez. All right, cool. So that's our competitor representing the red land of YouTube. All right, the next thing we have to do is switch this up. Right. Random number generator, 10 to 25. 17. All right. 17. All right. So Mighty Megatron is my anchoring point. So we're going for the 17th comment past Mighty Megatron. All right, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. M. Wolf. Feet picks, please. Wolf, congrats. Wolf. All right, so Resendez is representing YouTube. Wolf is representing Rumble. And then we need to pick 3 people off of locals to get our 5 total competitors. And we are almost there. We're doing this, and we're doing it in style. So let me quickly reload this, see how many comments we have. So we have 86. So random number generator, 1 to 86. All right, we have number 50. We have number 34. And we have number 61. All right, so 34, 50, and 61. So if you look at this, I just want to make sure I have it sorted by oldest. Okay, so this is the first comment. You can fact check me if you want, but there's 25 comments per page. So that's number 25. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Pickle Me Timbers. Pickle Me Timbers. All right, we could go to the bottom of the page because this is comment 50. Raplow. And then the last one is 61. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Mikey. All right, we have our 5 competitors. We have Resendez from YouTube. We have Wolf from Rumble. We have Pickle, Raplow, and Mikey, all from locals. All right, so now what we need to do is very quickly check in on the market. We almost made a fresh low. I'll set up some alerts for breakouts and breakdowns just so you guys can hear. Might be worthwhile to check something. But what we need to do is this. All right, we need to get all of the names. So competitor Resendez. Oops. Resendez. Wolf. We have Pickle. We have Raplow. We have Mikey. I should probably spell Mikey properly. All right. Finish. We have our competitors. Okay, so I'm told that there's a couple good ones. I'm told Paperclip is good. I'm told Lakeshore Drive is good. I've done Paperclip before, so let's do Lakeshore Drive. All right, we're going to do bots. We have 5 of them. All right, let's get ready. Let's get ready, folks. Let's get ready. 3 laps. How big is it? How many laps do you guys want to do? How many laps should we make the race? Should the laps be 3? Should we do 2? Should we do 4? Should we do 5? I'll let you guys pick. How many laps do you think that this race should last? Lemon says 5. That's the first comment I'm hearing. So we're going to do 5. Cool. That's solved. All right. Now before it's 69, before we get into it, who do you guys think is going to win? Who is giving you kind of that early vibe of like, oh, this is a competitor? Because we have fast people. I mean, Resendez, blazing fast. Wolf, blazing fast. And let me not remind you of Pickle, Raplow, and Mikey, who all have some record-breaking numbers. So this is going to be a fast one, without a doubt. But I'm just curious who you think is going to be the fastest. I want to know where all the smart money, the inside the track money is going to be. Interesting. I'm seeing early people pull for Pickles and Wolf is the names. Oh, I'm seeing more people coming in for Mikey right now. So Raplow and Resendez not getting much love, but maybe they're going to use that disrespect to fuel them to get to that finish line. Folks, what we have before us today is no normal marbles race. This is a winner-take-all prison rules marble race where we have 5 of the fastest marble racers the community has ever seen. Not only will they get eternal bragging rights going into the Hall of Fame of being a Payday Friday marbles winner, but they're also going to get 150 buckaroos, which I very much hope they spend at their local Texas Roadhouse. So folks, without further ado, please join me. Stand up, get your hands ready, because we are going to be starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, we are off, and Wolf has an early lead. Wolf is leading Resendez, Pickle, Raplo's in 4th, Mikey is in 5th. Oh boy, Pickle took a bad turn, but Wolf is still leading. And we have Raplo in last. He's coming up on everyone, though. It's still, Resendez took a lead. Oh, Resendez almost went off the map. Wolf is trying to catch up. They're all taking some of them are taking good turns. Other are kind of missing it. Mikey and Raplo are fighting to not be the caboose, folks. We're still in the first lap. 4 to go. Let's see how this one's going to go. Resendez is using the disrespect at the start of the picking to really, really fuel this race. We have Pickle. Right now it goes Resendez, Pickle, Wolf, Raplo, Mikey as we're coming in on the end of lap 1. And we're seeing some interesting techniques as it relates to taking these turns. Here we go. They're all taking the wide angle. All right. We are about a minute 18 in. We are 1 lap down. Resendez is leading, but Pickle is not giving up on this fight. Actually, Resendez just had some really good defensive maneuvers right there. Was about to pass, but Pickle just got smacked. Mikey's right there. Raplo's right there. And honestly, even Wolf, who's currently in last, not that far away, folks. We still have pretty much 4 entire laps to go. And at this point, it is anyone's race. It is truly anyone's race. Wolf is right there, waiting like a wolf in the jungle to strike. What is with all these wide turns? See, Wolf just almost leaped 2 people by taking a shorter path. That's an interesting one. I feel like personally that's smart, but folks, this is a battle of endurance. This is a battle of mind games. There's going to be no pit stops here. So let's let the racers do what they do best. But Wolf, once again, taking the short path, and it's just paying dividends, folks. I don't know why the other racers are choosing to not do this. Pickle and Raplo are falling. Oops. What's Raplo doing? Raplo got a flat tire. What is Raplo? Raplo pretty much out of the race. I don't know if he stopped to take a coffee break. Folks, we're going to have to get a replay on that one. But Raplo, literally just non-existent from the rest of the pack, losing the peloton, if you will. So right now, between Resendez, Mikey, Pickle, and Wolf, it's still now kind of the winners are most likely between the 4. You can see Raplo in the top left of your screen just like literally dilly-dallying in the middle of the race. Blows my mind, but whatever. Maybe Raplo is going to make some form of a comeback. I mean, we've seen crazier things in sports, but folks, I just don't think it's that likely. The battle is very much currently between Resendez and Mikey, but Wolf has slowly and surely been making up some ground. Let's check in on Pickle. Pickle has Wolf. So Wolf is being hunted by a Pickle. You don't really see that too often in the general public. But we are now officially on lap 3, everyone but Raplo, who is all the way back here just enjoying it. Apparently treating this day as a walk in the park. Not sure what's going on there. Here's the vantage point from the race's leader representing the red. Oh, just lost it. Mikey is fighting. Mikey Resendez once again with the high quality defensive maneuvers. Like, folks, this is what I tell you time and time again. You gotta have some of that defense. You gotta have some of the defense. Oh, all right. Now we're going into a little bit of Tokyo midnight 80s lo-fi to really bring the remainder laps in. We are on the 4th lap. Resendez has held the lead for a solid 80%, but Mikey's not giving up. Will Resendez once again be able to pull off? Resendez almost sending Mikey to his death off of the track, going at least 200 miles per hour. Mikey currently leading the race now after Resendez led it for 3 different laps. Pickle and Wolf are still battling it out for that coveted bronze medal spot. Mikey is now putting distance in between himself and Resendez. Let's see how this goes. This is going to be down to the wire. So Mikey and Wolf have been taking the advantage of taking on smaller curves when they get into those points in the race, which clearly 4 laps in, has now been paying dividends. But it can't go without note that Resendez has had some of the best defensive maneuvers that we've seen in multiple seasons of marble racing. Mikey currently leading, coming up on the final lap of the race, folks. I don't know if my blood pressure has ever been this high. The only thing higher than my blood pressure right now is most likely the national debt, but let's see how this goes. All right, let's check in on Raplow, who Pickle. Wait, Pickle. You let Raplow catch up? Okay, out of nowhere, Raplow, maybe we need to test that competitor for steroids, or maybe they somehow cheated because we kind of forgot to check on them. But Pickle now in last place, and then up in 4th is Raplow. Wolf still waiting for that opportunity to savagely attack, and currently the gold medal spot is being battled out like 2 gladiators between Resendez and Mikey. As I said, Resendez was leading most of the match, and Mikey recently was able to break through the defensive maneuvers to currently be in the lead, and we are in the final stretch. Here's Mikey. Mikey's leading. Will Resendez catch up? I don't think so. All right, here we go. Couple more turns. If Resendez is going to make a move, Resendez needs to make a move now, folks. We've seen this before, and there's just simply not enough time left in this match. If Resendez is going to pull something out of the marble sleeves, it needs to be now. There's simply not enough track left for, and it's hugging the wall. Mikey has it, folks. Here we go, Mikey. A strong congratulations. Resendez getting 2nd after leading most of the match. Wolf coming in 3rd. Raplow and Pickle, I don't know what they're doing. Are they just taking a break to make out or something? I don't know what's going on there. Horrible. They just quit. They did not have the hearts of a champion. So Raplow getting 4th, and Pickle, who is arguably the race's favorite. Wait, what? Mikey, that was like, look at these results. Look at the difference in time. 6:33 versus 6:55. That's embarrassing. Pickle, who is literally the race's favorite, not only getting last, but coming in very, very late last place. Wow. Well, anyway, folks, join me in congratulating Mikey for a gold place, 1st place, $150 eternal bragging right victory. And I think we should also give a round of applause to Resendez, because those, not only did Resendez lead most of the race, but very, very impressive maneuver. Mikey, I have your information on locals. I'll be reaching out to you. We'll send you your winnings. But for me and the community, congratulations. I mean, that's a good one. That was a good race. And folks, to all of you who competed, all around, to all of you who tried to compete, thank you. I appreciate you guys supporting this form of an effort, because I mean, man, I think this is one of the fastest growing sports leagues that the world has ever seen. Impressive. Very, very, very impressive. So folks, join me. Round of applause. We have a new champion, Mikey. Mikey, I will be reaching out to you later on today. Wolf wants to recount. Wolf, you just waited too late to make your attack at the final point there. I don't know what happened to Pickle. Did anyone have vantage points on what happened to Raplow and Pickle? I mean, Raplow, he just decided to stop for a second there. And then out of nowhere, he somehow passed. When did he pass Pickle? I don't get it. I don't know what was going on there, but I think both of those competitors should be tested for cooties, if you know what I mean. I think not only are we going to give some steroid testing to Wolf, but I think we should definitely be giving some cooties tests to Raplow and Pickle down there, because it looks like a little bit more than racing was going on. Looks like a little bit of shenanigans was going on from such a slow delay. But anyway, it's just how I see it. It's how we see it. All right. We got a little bit of a pump, a potential turn. And I said what I would do at that point. If you want to know what I would do at that point, just rewind it in the stream. All right. I just got that in there. Cool. I got a new trade in there. The exact trade I told you guys I would be taking. So here's to hoping it makes me some dinero. Here's to hoping I placed it properly. And I did. Yesterday, right at market close, I placed a trade that was the inverse of what I wanted. So that was no bueno. But I think I got this one exactly where it should be. I think I got this one exactly where it should be. Downloads. All right, I'm sending this in right now on Thick Trades. Just added a position. I didn't close the original. Just added one. Added one because I think I see a good opportunity. I think I see a good opportunity. All right, very quickly before things get wrapped up today, just 11 a.m., a special real-time demo of trades. Folks, this is the last day you're going to be able to use this tool on the screen. Oh, cool. They cleaned it up. That weird data print. Oh, this is so much nicer. Okay, you can see a big level at 5,760. You can see this level at 5,740, and you can see a big level at 5,700, and there's a overshoot target of 5,690. So anyway, I guess they're doing a specialty thing in about 10 minutes. This is the last day you could try Trace for free. It's in the description of the video. My mods will drop that in chat. They're not really the sponsor of today or anything. I just like the product so much that I figure I'll call that out for all of you. So just kind of watching these key levels. 5,700 big support. 5,720. Is that player still there? No. Okay. So that player disappeared. There was a player betting on it being below 5,720. That player disappeared. Might be the same player, might be a different one, but someone is now betting that we're actually albeit at a smaller size, but someone is betting that we're going to be below 5,715. Once again, that is a smaller bet. The three major big bets that I think are worthwhile to look at is above 5,700, below 5,740, and then the biggest bet is below 5,760. Those are the three worthwhile ones to point out. And so at one point I did mark this out, but this player is now gone, and they actually slightly moved it, but this isn't that impressive in terms of size. Like, you know, like we've seen bigger type of a thing. So anyway, big bet, biggest bet is all the way up here. This is the biggest bet. This is a medium-sized bet. This is a medium-sized bet. This is a baby bet. But those are, I think, the four bets worthwhile to kind of pay attention to in real time, just to see how some of this stuff does or doesn't play out. With the options flow, sold until about 10:31. Then we were flat, and now we're picking up. There is a little bit of a volume spike right here starting at 10:50, a little bit of a pop. Will it have legs? I don't know. We'll find out. The game of prediction is silly. Remember, this is a game of just reacting. Don't try to predict the next bar. Don't try to predict if we're going up, if we're going down. Just react to higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, breakdowns, breakouts, fake out breakdowns, fake out breakouts. React to spikes in options. Be reactive. Don't be predictive. If you're trying to predict where this is going to go next, you're already miles behind what profitable traders are doing. Don't do that. Please don't do that. What else did I want to show you? Right here, I just want to see the Mag 7. Okay, so Mag 7 bottomed at 1030, picking up. Equities bottomed at 1030, picking up. Index is now flat, so really not catching a bid. So the individual names, the things that make up the S&P 500, the things that make up the NASDAQ, they're catching a bit of a bid, but the index itself is not. So I don't know if I'd be overly stoked on trying to buy this bottom here and go up until I see a little bit more strength. But I don't know. Maybe you just wanted to monitor what Pelosi's doing, because if she buys, maybe we should be buying. All right, let me see. You guys did send in things to react to, so I don't want to forget about that. Let me see a couple of these. This is unacceptable. What's unacceptable?
You know, we see all these people coming across, mostly military-age men coming from China, from Africa, from all over the world. Most of them not even being vetted when they come in here. But here's what's really going to bother you. When these folks come across and they're processed, they're being given a cell phone, a plane ticket to wherever they want to go in this country, so probably to a community near you, and a $5,000 Visa card. So while this Christmas season you're struggling to keep your lights on,
$5,000, really?
Rent, put Christmas
I think we should fact check that, but if that's real, that's BS.
We have our government giving people that came into this country illegally $5,000 gift cards. That's the truth, folks.
I want to fact check it, but if that's true, that's
we see all these people.
If that's true, that's just so disheartening. especially like right now where FEMA's giving people $750, clearly less money than they need. And yet we come up with $5K for other people, like not our own. I just don't get it. Illegals got $1 billion from FEMA that was should go to flood victims.
North Carolina is underwater, 1,000 people missing. While Pinellas County, we had 11 deaths, and we have a majority of our residents that aren't going to be able to come back to their homes because they're completely destroyed. You have Mayorkas, the Biden-Harris administration, and radical leftists in Washington, mostly in the Democrat Party, gave illegals $1.1 billion in housing assistance. People that never paid into the system, mind you, they wouldn't have been here in the first place if they weren't campaigning on open borders, but that's a separate video. You should be pissed. And if you think as a legislator, I'm not pissed, and I don't see the games that happen in Washington hoping that you're not paying attention, because that's how it goes up there, is they hope the American people are too busy working to pay attention to the crap that they're doing. I'm telling you, you need to get out and vote, because this is not going to stop. It's just going to continue with the inflation, with the border security issues, and now we have Americans that are literally dying, not being able to get assistance, and the administration says, it's okay, we'll give you $750. Meanwhile, they said our tax dollars overseas to fund countries that don't need it, and they give it to illegal immigrants. North Carolina is under...
It's just so backwards. It's just so incredibly backwards. I just feel like I have to be misunderstanding something, because it just seems so obviously wrong.
We're trying our best. Get you guys out of the hot zone. Please be patient and understanding. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone here for prescriptions only? Prescriptions only.
Wow. This is in Asheville.
We didn't make it to the milk. Or Wednesday, October 2nd.
Jesus.
It's gone.
That's dystopian. That's crazy.
That's really like an apocalypse.
Just all gone.
More empty aisles. It's literally the apocalypse. So kind of Walmart.
That's crazy. Crazy. Oh, I think I saw this one. The JRE with Mark. This is pretty funny.
He sent Mark Cuban a letter when Mark Cuban's television show failed, and someone posted it on Instagram today. See if you can find it, Jamie. This is the letter. This is from 2004. Mr. Mark Cuban. Dear Mark, I'm truly sorry to hear that your show has been canceled for lack of ratings. When I initially called you to congratulate you on the benefactor, little did you or I realize how disastrous and embarrassing it would turn out for you. If you ever decide to do another show, please call me and I'll be happy to lend a helping hand. With best wishes, Donald Trump. He's
no wonder Mark Cuban hates him, because he dunked on him years ago. I would hold on to that grudge. Which Piper is your favorite? This is from my producer, Chaos, the Bull. All right, so we have a very, very bullish Piper. We have a very bearish Piper. We have a very sharkish Piper. We have a very piggish Piper. We have a very mummy-ish Piper. That one's actually funny. Very seasonally appropriate. Princess Piper, she would rip that off in seconds. There's no way she would do that. Dracula, that makes more sense because she recently tried to steal all of my blood. So I think that one is like appropriate in terms of time. The Witch, that's a good one. What else do we have here? These are funny. We have Cowboy, Candy Corn, the Duck, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and Trump. We have the Trump Piper. That's a good one. The Cowboy one's funny too. You can tell she's trying her hardest. You can tell she's just trying her hardest, man. Those are good. That's pretty funny. All right, folks. Alrighty. That's pretty much it for today. Obviously, shout out for Swamp Trade sponsoring today's Payday Friday giveaway. Check it out, swamptrades.com. It's 100% free. You can give them your email if you want just a weekly update of what politicians are doing, or you could just check out the websites and see their trades in real time. This website, this service, 100% free. There's no place to even put in your credit card information. So show swamptrades.com a little bit of love. Don't forget to sign up for the Discord pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you want my trades in real time, Piper's trades in real time, Salad Bar, other people, access to the previous lectures, the first month is completely free. I don't want anyone to feel like they got. So use that promo code Goonie. If you're interested in active trading, swing trading, learning a little bit more about systematic trading, futures trading, option trading, you can learn a ton in your first free month and see if the service is appropriate for you. I just don't want anyone to feel like they got. So check that out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Now, folks, before I head out, not only for the day, but also for the weekend, are there any final questions, comments, concerns on the market, on the Discord, on Apex, on Swamp Trades, on marble racing, on life, on fashion, on Halloween, on anything, really? Is there any final things that you guys want me to answer before we peace out for the weekend? Is North Carolina getting assistance from the National Guard? I have no clue. I am not the person who gets to make the calls on what the National Guard does or does not do. Don't get got. That's a good life question or good life statement. When does the OnlyFans go live? It is live. You just have to know how to search for it. Would you eat an apple? Would you eat an apple from trick-or-treating? Absolutely not. What tea is that? This is a t-shirt I think you could get off Amazon, probably made in China. A dashiki shirt. Hi, my Discord is not syncing. I messaged you for help on Discord. If you just signed up for today, I need to process the database. There's a big message that says it could take up to 24 hours. I'll manually process everyone, so you should be good in an hour or two if you just signed up today. So if you're trying to sign up right now and it's not working instantaneously, it's because I've been streaming to all of you and I haven't had the time to hit the update button. So after the stream, just give it like 30 minutes and then try to do the syncing. So you should be good after that. But if you have any issues, please reach out to me, media@MatthewKors.com, Matt_Kors on Twitter, or reach out to me on Discord. MMK147 is my name there. Stair Stepper update. I haven't been on the Stair Stepper in a week now. I'm really slacking because of this illness. I was attacked by the people in Wuhan. Thoughts on boot cut versus skinny jeans? I think the only way to really do it as a man is squat as much as you can till you have massive legs and then buy the skinniest of jeans you can find. I think that's really what the next phase of fashion is going to be, is gigantic quads, gigantic calves, just shoved into like way too skin tight of skinny jeans. I think that's going to be the next major chapter of fashion. That's a phenomenal question. Look out, Matt. There's a ghost. There's a ghost behind me. Ah! All right. Love you all. Peace.